Yo, 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 what's going on, y'all? Thanks for tuning in to DFJ Hoops. As always, I'm your host, Andre. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Um, this not gonna be a longer live like last night. I just want to talk about Team USA versus South Sudan. That's what I want to talk about. Yeah, it'll be a quick live, but appreciate each and every person tuning in. Shout out to my guy Tuning Sports. He says about time. Steve Kerr's a smart man. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you. Y'all can go sub to Tuning Sports if you haven't. And shout out to my guy Thomas Talented. He says how he benched KD but not Booker. I think because KD was hurt, that's why he got benched. But we gonna talk about everything. We gonna break everything down. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. All right, let's get right into this. So Team USA took on South Sudan, and this time around it was not close. The first time they played them at the exhibition game, it was much closer. I think they won by 1 point, but this game right here wasn't even close. I think Team USA won by 17 points. It was 106. Not my fault. 103 to 86. So Team USA came out. They took care of business, and they pretty much took everything personal. Right? They made sure that South Sudan didn't have a chance to win this game. And after the first quarter, it was just not close, and you could just see the talent gap between the two teams, between South Sudan and Team USA. Now, don't get me wrong, South Sudan, they do have some good players. They have a few good players. I mean, Wenyan Gabriel is not all that great, but as a hustle guy, he's definitely a good player in that role. They also have a few players. I think Jones, he's a good player. Shayok, who's also a good player. I think he played for the Sixers. The Sixers drafted him, but that was the 2019-2020 season. But the talent level is just not close, and you could just tell. I think at the end of the second or the third quarter, Team USA's bench had outscored the entire South Sudan team. So that shows you that the talent gap was not it was just not close, and Team USA, everybody took it personal. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room right here. All right, let's talk about Joel Embiid. Now, Embiid has been, there's a lot of memes going on Instagram, a lot of memes on Twitter because he did not play a single minute in this game right here. And, people are making fun of him, which, they have every right to because he hasn't been playing to his standards, right? He hasn't been playing to his level, in terms of, being a top player in the NBA. But so far in the FIBA play, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that version of Joel Embiid. We just haven't. And in his last game, he got absolutely destroyed by Nikola Jokic, and Jokic just proved to him why he's just a better player than him. And it was just it was just funny all the way around. It was just funny. But um, coming into this game right here, Steve Kerr made some adjustments, some lineup adjustments, which I alluded to in my last live. No, not in my last live, but the live I did on Monday. Right, I did talk about it. I talked about Embiid's, his game and his play on Monday, and I did suggest that Steve Kerr might make a few tweaks in the starting lineup, and it was clear. We saw it today, and I think in the last game, the starters were Drew Holiday, Joel Embiid, LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Devin Booker. But to start this game right here, it was Booker, Tatum, LeBron, Curry, and Anthony Davis. So Jason Tatum, who didn't get a single playing time or a single minute, should I say, against Serbia, he was inserted into the starting lineup, and he gave you some quality minutes. Gave you a few rebounds. He hasn't made a jump shot yet, which he's still in the slump in terms of shooting the basketball. Yeah, y'all smash the like button as y'all come in. Y'all smash the like button. He hasn't made a jump shot yet. I think he's 0 for 11 so far in terms of jump shots. So he's in his own slump as well. And Stephen Curry, who is also struggling from the three, I think he didn't make a 3-pointer if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't make a 3-pointer. But we're gonna get to Steph Curry in a few minutes. But yeah, there was a few tweaks in the starting lineup. So Jason Tatum, slid in, and Anthony Davis also started in place of Joel Embiid. So the starting five, which it was cool. I mean, to start the game off, I mean, they went on a 6-0 run to start. LeBron had two layups, and and there was a play where LeBron drove down the lane, and he kicked it out to Jason Tatum. He pump faked, and he took a couple dribbles, and he gave a dump off pass to Anthony Davis, and he dunked it. And that play right there, LeBron could have just force a shot up by just going up, against two or three defenders, but he made the right play, he made the right move, made the right read, kicked it out to Jason Tatum. And Tatum also, made the right read by noticing that Anthony Davis in the dunker spot had nobody on him. So he just, easy dump off pass to him. And Anthony Davis had a wide open dunk. Now, I need to say this about Jason Tatum. I think we should give Jason Tatum, we got to give him credit because he has absolutely he's gotten better as a passer, right? Some of these passes that he was making, I'm talking about this game right here and in the finals, some of these passes that he's been making, you really didn't see that 2 or 3 years ago, right? We didn't see him as that kind of like playmaker, that passer, but he's taken a bigger jump in terms of his playmaking, in terms of his passing, and we absolutely have to give him credit for it. Now, as a player, we may not give him that credit because he's not on that level, or people might think he's not on that level. But I mean, me personally, I have Jason Tatum high on my list, and as much as we give Jokic a lot of credit for, his passing and his playmaking ability. Again, I am not saying that Jason Tatum is on the same level as Jokic, but I'm just saying that he has gotten better as a passer and as a playmaker. Jason Tatum has gotten better, and I think we should just give him credit for, improving his game in terms of that, in that role, right? I mean, in terms of that side of the basket, we should just give him credit. So Team USA, they go on a 6-0 run, and then South Sudan, they also respond. They respond by going on a 7-0 run on their own, and they had some great action. But the thing is, they don't really have enough talent, so it just wasn't enough. But that 7-0 run that they went on, they made some smart passes. Just driving kicks. Shooting threes. There was this player who I kind of forgot his name. He hit a tough three, and I couldn't even believe it because that three, I said to myself, there's no way this three is going in. And next thing you know, splash. So, you just got to give them credit when credit is due. KD hurt again. Now, I mean, to start, he was hurt, but he's not hurt right now. But I think because he came off an injury, that's why Steve Kerr is bringing him off the bench. So that's all I'm saying. But he's not hurt right now. KD definitely, he's doing his thing. He came off the bench with that second unit, and he was looking pretty good with them. So I think eventually he's going to get in the starting lineup. I just don't know when. Say kick him off. Yo, Thomas funny as hell, bro. Yeah, shout out to Thomas though. Shout out to my guy Humble. Yeah, appreciate you for being here, bro. Appreciate you. Smash the like button as y'all come in. Smash the like button. And shout out to my guy Brian Pumper. He says this Joel's best game. Us 76ers fans can breathe. Yeah, it is. It definitely is his best game. I mean, how many claps, how many chants, how many how many times did he jump on the sideline? Just give me that stat line. Oh wait. But just speaking of KD, he came in with that second unit, right? It was him, Drew Holiday, Anthony Edwards, Bam Adebayo, and I think Derek White. They came in and they just kept that intensity. I mean, they didn't let their foot off the gas. They were just making shots, making plays, and they were active on defense as well. And that was one of my biggest takeaways from this game. Last game, they didn't really start off great defensively, and this guy had a lot to do with it. Embiid had a lot to do with Team USA getting off to a slow start defensively. But tonight it was a different story. Having Anthony Davis out there in that starting lineup it really helps you because he can switch 1 through 5, and he can be an interior presence underneath the basket. So, but having Joel Embiid, you have to play in drop coverage. You have to have him standing, right next to the basket. If you have him on the perimeter, it's always going to be a mismatch. You know, teams are going to take advantage of him, and that's what happened when they faced him the first time. I mean, they took advantage. They pulled him away from the basket, and they just started attacking the basket relentlessly. But you didn't have that issue in this game right here because Anthony Davis can switch onto the perimeter and pretty much hold his own. Bam Adebayo can do the same thing. So um, that's one thing that I noticed. And when KD came in, I mean, just Kevin Durant is just like I said, his game offensively, it fits in with almost every team because he has just a versatile offensive game. Now he came in this game, first play, it was a sideline out of bounds, and he got the ball, and he did this quick rip through move, drove to the basket, got fouled, and he got to the free throw line, and then the second play right after that, he hit a 3-pointer, and I was like, yeah, if KD's making shots like this, if he's, making shots like that, uh, you're definitely going to be in trouble. So, they had some good offensive plays. And then Bam Adebayo, who was in the dunker spot, he was, fighting on the glass, getting some offensive rebounds, creating some second chance opportunities. And there was a play where I think it was Anthony Edwards who drove down the lane, passed it off to him, and then he dunked it. And then he started working his way further and further out to the 3-point line because he got those easy bunnies, at the rim, those easy shots at the rim. So that kind of like got him in some sort of rhythm. And then he started, stepping out to the 3-point line. And that's where he hit that, back to back 3-pointers. And Bam Adebayo started off this game. I think he started like 6 for 6. He didn't miss a shot. He went 6 for 6. Flawless, including those dump off passes. Those 2 3-pointers he hit, and there was another play where he got an offensive rebound, kicked it out, and then somebody made a smart play. I think Derek White made a smart play. Passed it to him, and he shot that running floater. So Bam was balling, off the bench. He did his thing. I think he finished with 18 points, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, I'm really high on Bam Adebayo. I really like Bam. I mean, I only hate that he plays for the Miami Heat. That's the only that's the only thing I hate. But he's one of my favorite players because I think he could be a very very versatile player, and we've seen him getting better and better, especially at the NBA level. So Bam Adebayo, I'm really high on him. I think Miami's gonna do something special with him when Jimmy Butler is off the team. It's going to be Bam Adebayo's team, and they're going to try to build that unit around him. So, shout out to Bam Adebayo. He balled out for Team USA, and that's all that I expect from him. Thomas Allenson says the real Embiid stood up. Hey Thomas, stop it. Stop this pressure, can't handle pressure shit, bro. Stop this. He can't handle the pressure shit. We not trying to hear that shit. He says Jason Tatum still played like boo boo. I mean, yeah, I mean, scoring wise, yeah, he didn't really, like I said, he's 0 for 11 on jump shots, right? I don't think he's made a single jump shot. Um, since they in FIBA play, I don't think he's made a jump shot. So yeah, but in terms of other aspects of the game, he was playmaking. He made some good passes. He rebounded the basketball pretty good, and he played some good defense, in my opinion. But if you just want to point out to the scoring, yeah, I can see where you're coming from because he only had like 4 points. But I mean, 5 rebounds. You got to give him credit for it. And he's only credited with 2 assists, but he made some good passes that didn't necessarily lead to assists, but it was just some of those passes were very very good, and they probably led to a scoring opportunity, or they led to a miss. But passing a good shot for a great shot, situations like that, you're not going to get credited with an assist, but hockey assists definitely exist, and I think Jason Tatum had a couple hockey assists in this game. Yeah, I know the jumper you're talking about. That was terrible. That was terrible. And after I saw that jumper, I knew people were gonna get on them because that was a terrible miss. And you did see it on Twitter, on Instagram. You see the memes and all that. But I think Jason Tatum shouldn't really focus on that. I think he should just focus on trying to be better. Try to shoot the three ball better, and try to be much more effective for your team. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But but the second unit, they play some great defense, great team defense, and offensively, it was just flawless in my opinion. Defensively, we saw great action from Derek White, who, Derek White is a player that almost every team should want on their team because, he's not that flashy of a player, but he makes all these, these great plays, blocking shots, getting steals, getting deflections, and keeping ball out of, I mean, keeping ball inbounds, and not giving up on plays. He has a few, chase down blocks, and that, I mean, those are what makes Derek White very, very great. Players like him and Drew Holiday. And that's why the Boston Celtics are a successful team because they have these guys who are not just great offensively, but defensively they can, also do the little things that, every team needs in order to, be a successful team. And we just saw that with the Boston Celtics with them, going to the NBA finals and winning the NBA championship. So yeah, huge shout out to Derek White. But this the United States, they took a 26 to 14 lead, and they were up by 12. And I mean, at that point, at no point did I ever think that, South Sudan was going to make a run and try to make this game close because I just thought Team USA was just much better. They had more firepower, and it's just there's nothing that South Sudan could have did that would have helped them in their case. Mario Shayak, is it Shayak or Shaq? I mean, yeah, I think it's Shayak. Yeah, he was a Sixers legend. He played in the G League. I think the season before last, he was playing for the Celtics. I mean, their G League team, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's a very good, off the bench. He could be like a microwave score off the bench, kind of like in that Montrezl Harrell role. Now I'm not saying he's Montrezl Harrell because Montrezl Harrell was a beast that season with the Clippers when he won Six Man of the Year. But I think Shia could definitely come off the bench and give you some quality production. So hopefully a team can sign him in the NBA, and we'll see how that goes. Um, Tuna Sports says Steve did Embiid a favor. Uh, I mean, I knew this was coming. Pause if necessary. I knew this was on the way, and I mean, if you're a Sixer fan and B fan, you should have seen this coming because Embiid was playing so terrible, and with him playing so terrible, I know Steve Kerr. Embiid is one of his favorite players. He's even said that, right. He said that Embiid is one of his favorite players, but at some point you can't just go by feelings. You got to go with what's working. And Embiid was not working for Team USA. Being lethargic, being lazy, not being so active, it just wasn't making his case any better. So Steve Kerr did what he was supposed to do, which is, go with the lineup that's going to give him the best chance to win. Now, I'm not saying that, Embiid in the lineup, they're not going to win because they're definitely going to win because Team USA has a lot. But having Anthony Davis out there, you start off good offensively, you start off good defensively. But with Embiid, with this version of Embiid, you're just not going to start out good defensively. And we saw that against the Serbian team after they took that or they went on that 10-2 run. But in this game right here, like I said, Team USA they went on a run first. They went on a 6-0 run before South Sudan responded. So I just think that Embiid should just look at this situation and use it as motivation because if you're Embiid, you should be looking at this like, yo, I'm one of the best players in the league, right? I'm a top 5, top 6 player, right? One of the best centers, one of the best big men in the league. I was an MVP not too long ago, and then I don't play a single minute in this game. If you're Embiid, you should be disrespected, and you should start, you should be better in the next game. Now I don't know who they play next. I think they probably play Puerto Rico, but um I think he'll probably play in the Puerto Rican game. So if you play in that game, you should come out and do the best that you can in order to help this team. So that's all I'll say about Joel Embiid. Yeah, I mean, Tuna Sports, you being disingenuous. I'm telling you, Derek White is the best player on the Celtics. Hey, I'm not laughing because it's. But I mean, I see what you're saying. But I mean, to say he's the best player, people are going to disagree with you, obviously. But I mean, if you really watch him play, if you really watch the Celtics, nobody can deny the value that he brings to that Celtics team. And me personally, I wouldn't be mad if you say he's the best player. I mean, me personally, I think it's Jason Tatum. But if you say that, I'm not mad because he does almost everything that needs to be done in order to win. So yeah, shout out to Derek White. Miami needs to build around Bam. I absolutely agree. Nobody disagrees on that. I mean, they extended him on a 4-year deal, so he's their future. So yeah, South Sudan just made it interesting. Like some of these teams will do. USA will get gold. Yeah, yeah. There's no excuse for Team USA not to win gold. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Tuna Sports, I paused that, bro. I paused that. But in the second quarter, the I was about to say the Sixers, but Team USA they scored 5 quick points, and Wenyen Gabriel, shout out to Wenyen Gabriel. Now he's not a center, right? But he was playing center for the South Sudan team, and he did his best to keep Anthony Davis off the glass. But I mean, Anthony Davis would just overpower him because he's much bigger, much taller, much athletic, and there's literally nothing that Wenyen Gabriel can do to keep Anthony Davis off the glass. So, but he tried his best. He ended up fouling out in the game, but in my opinion, I think Wenyen Gabriel tried his best, and teams could definitely use him. If I'm the Sixers, I mean, you need a power forward. You might as well go get that dude because he did his thing. He's showing out, and players that are playing in this tournament, they're not just playing for their countries. They're also showcasing what they can do for NBA teams. So I think the 76ers should possibly look into signing Wenyen Gabriel because at this point you have no other choice. So, and I don't think Wenyen Gabriel is gonna, he's gonna cost you that much anyway. So, if you have him on this team, you can probably, you'll probably be a good, rebounding team. But Team USA they go on that 5-0 run, and South Sudan they call a timeout, and he just like I'm saying about Wenyen Gabriel. I mean, there was this play where he had like 3 offensive rebounds in a row, and South Sudan they're a good rebounding team. In general, they're a good rebounding team, and the commentators kept saying that if South Sudan want to win this game, they're going to have to do it by getting all these offensive rebounds, converting, and also forcing a bunch of turnovers. That's how I mean the commentators thought they could win this game. But I mean, me personally, I just knew it was not going to happen because Team USA just had too much. You know what I'm saying? They had too much, and there's nothing that they could have done. But they started making some good plays here and there, hustling on defense. I'm talking about South Sudan, hustling on defense, trying to tie the game up. But at some point, Team USA they just they just got up by 20 points, and they got up by 20 points, and I was saying to myself, yeah, at this point, there's nothing that you can do to counter what Team USA is doing because it's just too much. But Halliburton checked in, and this was his first game, his debut in the Olympics, and he came off the bench. He drained 2 quick threes, back to back triples, and those threes were off a great action, some driving kicks, drive kicks, and giving out the extra pass. He was wide open, and then he took those threes. Nah, give me JT Thor. Thor is a good player as well, but I mean, okay, I think it's personal preferences at this point. I mean, Wenyen Gabriel he impressed me more than Thor, so that's how I put it. But no, I'm not disrespecting Thor, but so he had a pretty good game as well. Thomas says I'm sleepy, Andre. U.S. is playing middle school teams. Uh, nah, I mean I wouldn't call them middle school teams, but Team USA is just better. They're just much better than all these other teams. That's why it seems like that. But I mean, if they go up against France, I think France would definitely be a huge challenge for them. So, we'll see. Thomas says you'll never hear me talk on Olympic basketball. Why not? I mean, there's no basketball going on right now, so That's our only choice, watching basketball. Now people are watching the female basketball. I mean, yeah, the female basketball team. Now that I'll never watch, right? No disrespect, but that I'll never watch. I'd rather watch the men's competition and see the best players go up against each other. Yeah, yeah, Times. I know you trolling there. Come on, bro. I've been listening to you for a long time. Man, France will get packed up. Uh, they will, but it's still gonna be competitive, in my opinion. I think it's still gonna be competitive. I think they went up against Japan, and it was a pretty close game until, I mean, Japan had the lead at some point until they made a run and they won the game. But I don't think they're a pushover, right? I don't think they're a pushover, and I don't think if we play them, I don't think it's gonna be a 17 point game. I just don't see that. Yeah, shout out to my guy Cottage81. Appreciate you for being in here, bro. Appreciate you. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. Um, Brian Pumper says it's actually sad, but France needed Joel scoring. I mean that is true, but I mean they have Wembenyama, Rudy Gobert. I mean they have a lot of bigs. So would they have run a three big lineup, or somebody was going to come off the bench? I just don't know, but yeah, I think they're pretty fine. I think they're fine in my opinion. But yeah, so I mean, Team USA, they end up going up by 19 points to end the second quarter. They head into the third, and that's where they started turning the ball up because South Sudan was playing some good defense. They were trying to get into the game, so they were doing almost everything in their power to kind of like cut it to single digits, but it just didn't happen. They did force a few turnovers, but um, when you force those turnovers, you got to convert, and they weren't really converting to the same level as Team USA was doing. I mean, Team USA, they were hitting threes, they were making plays. I mean, there was a play where what you call it, Steph Curry lobbed it up to Jason Tatum, and then right after they scored, they got another steal, right? And then Anthony Davis converted. So they were getting South Sudan was getting steals, but they were just not converting, and it just kept adding and adding to Team USA's lead. And in the third, I was kind of saying to myself, will Embiid check in this game? But ultimately, he didn't play, and I was like, yo, if you're gonna play him, just put him in the third for a few minutes and just take him out because it was gonna get ugly for him on social media. But we didn't see that happen. And let me get to Stephen Curry, right? Let me get to Stephen Curry, the babyface assassin, right? Four-time NBA champion, two-time MVP, right? He hasn't been great shooting the basketball from three-point range. He hasn't been that good. From games that I've seen, he's been missing a lot of wide open looks. Um, and teams are not they're contesting his shots, but it's still wide open looks in my opinion for Stephen Curry. I mean, we know Steph Curry's the greatest shooter of all time, and these kind of looks that he's getting, he should be converting, but he's just not making these shots. Now it doesn't matter because Team USA have other players, but I just think that Steph Curry has to start making shots. Now I haven't done enough research on him, but I have to because I mean if I know that Jason Tatum is 0 for 11 on jump shots, I need to figure out what Steph Curry is on jump on jump shots. I got to figure that out. But he's been missing a lot of easy ones from the three, and I don't know if it's because the 3-point line is shorter than the NBA, but that should give you an advantage because the 3-point line is closer to the basket. So he should definitely be making threes. And defensively, sometimes he gets taken advantage of, right? So I saw on social media that people were saying that Steph Curry should also they should they should consider benching him. But me personally, I just don't think I just think otherwise. I think shooters shoot, so he'll probably get into a rhythm. But it's definitely being concerning for Stephen Curry, and he has to start making shots. But I believe he's gonna start making shots because because he's Steph Curry. But other people are going to be concerned. I'm concerned as well, but I just believe that he should be in the starting lineup, and he'll definitely get it. He'll definitely get it to go. He'll definitely get it going. At some point, hopefully it's on Saturday when they take on Puerto Rico. But yeah, Steph. The reason why I'm talking about Steph Curry is because he did miss a lot of threes in that third quarter, and I think he had his first field goal in the fourth, if I'm not mistaken. Right? He wasn't the 3 point line, the 3 pointers was not falling for him. So, it was just an off night offensively for Steph Curry. In terms of shooting the basketball, but he had a few assists here and there. His off ball movements, set up a few of his teammates, right? It did set up Kevin Durant for a three, and I remember it did set up Devin Booker for a three as well, and it did set up a backdoor opportunity for Anthony Edwards, who capitalized on that play. So shout out to Stephen Curry, but you got to make those threes, bro. You got to make those threes. You got to make them pay, right? And just like I said, he made his first field goal in the fourth, and he was 1 for 6, no, 1 for 9 from the field. So that is terrible. That's terrible offense right there. So hopefully he can get it going. Rudy was gonna come off the bench if Embiid was playing for France. Okay, I see what you're saying there. But I mean, they would have had the same problem because Embiid is not. He's not playing great for Team USA, and offensively, is not any different. Shout out to Cottage. He says, hopefully Joel can lead the 76ers to the NBA Finals. Yeah, that's what we're all hoping for, right? Hopefully they're healthy, they're clicking on all cylinders, and hopefully the coaching has to be good. Teammates have to show up, and he has to show up as well. Tuna Sports says, man, Japan had a 5'4" guy on Wemby won't play. They just big. Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched them, but yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't know how they had to lead against France because it should be a blowout every single time against Japan. But yeah. But Team USA, they kept their foot on the gas. They went into the headed into the fourth with a 16-point lead, and they get into the fourth. South Sudan is still trying to they're still trying to come back in this game, still trying to cut it down to single digits. They go on an 8-0 run, and they go on an 8-0 run, and that's where like I said, Steph Curry got his first field goal, but Wenyen Gabriel, he fouls out, like I said, fouled out in the fourth. Because there's only five fouls, and when you got to deal with Anthony Davis, that's not an easy task. That is definitely a difficult task. But I was really impressed from him, Shayak, Jones. Jones was in check because the other game that they played, I think he had a triple double. So everybody was serious every time they switched up on him because it was like, yo, you're not about to you're not about to go off on us. So the defense got a little bit. They turned up the defense a little bit on him because they didn't want him to go off. But I mean, it was just a bad night. I mean, bad game for them. And nothing they did was going to be enough to combat Team USA. So Team USA ended up winning. 103-86. Right. KD was great. LeBron was okay. Other players, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Bam Adebayo, like I said, he was good, and I gotta give a few love to Devin Booker. I gotta show him some love. He's not Thomas wants him bench, but he did play a solid game today against South Sudan. He finished with 10 points, 4 for 6 from the field, and he did have a few good defensive possessions as well. So shout out to D Book, he did his thing. From the mid range, he's a mid range assassin, and Anthony Edwards. People are saying he's a ball stopper, which certain instances you did see that, but I don't think it was that big of a problem in this game right here because he did play some good defense as well in the passing lanes. He was good in the passing lanes, good 1-on-1, and he did make some few rotations to to stop South Sudan from scoring. So yeah, we definitely have to give him that. Shout out to Humble. He says Thomas Lucas said he owns the Clippers. Did he say that? Well, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, it was a good game. All around. Unfortunately for Embiid, he didn't get to get in this game right here. But I think he should just use it as motivation. And Team USA, they took care of business, came out, proved that South Sudan was not on their level, and pretty much a blowout victory. Tom is trying to say, are you Luca owns teams that Kawhi ain't on? Man, stop it, bro. The Clippers lost. It is what it is. It is what it is. The Clippers have benefited from teams being hurt while Kawhi was there. So let's not play this game. Yeah, but yeah, it was a good game. Now, like I said, they take on Puerto Rico, and hopefully they can take care of business. And hopefully, I think me personally, I think they should go with this starting lineup, right? Because this starting lineup with LeBron, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, and Steph Curry, um, they're able to play good offensively and defensively, right? And they don't have to start the game off, being down by 8 points to start. So, I think they should definitely go with this lineup, and hopefully Kevin Durant should be inserted into the starting lineup. But who's going to get benched, I don't know. That's up to Steve Kerr to decide for it. But yeah, I agree with Thomas there that Kevin Durant should be starting. Thomas Kawhi ain't been in the playoffs to the advantage of teams being hurt. Now I said Kawhi and the Clippers, they beat teams that was hurt too. Let's not sit here and act like they didn't beat teams that was hurt. Y'all beat the Mavericks that first year when Kristaps Porzingis got hurt. And you were telling me the last live that we did, you were telling me that Kristaps Porzingis is this great rim protector, right? With me, you, and Casual. So Kristaps Porzingis being hurt, that definitely affected the Dallas Mavericks in that series. So off your own logic, I'm using your logic against you. If he's this great rim protector, Dallas was missing that great rim protector. That's why they ended up losing that series. Nah, I'm being disingenuous. I mean, even if he played, I still believe Clippers would have won. Right? I still believe Clippers would have won. But Lou Will was suspended and Bad was not on minutes restrictions. Stop it. And Lou Williams was not suspended. He played in that series. Yes, he played in only 3 games. He missed the last 3 because he tore his meniscus. But yeah, it is what it is. Um, yeah, I think they should definitely go with the starting lineup, and they got to find a way to kind of like incorporate Embiid into the matchups. You see, Thomas, I'm talking about 2020, and you're talking about 2021. That's you moving the goalposts again. He got sent home. You're missing the point. The point is that Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers have beaten teams that was injured before. That's my point. Well, yeah, Thomas gonna do Thomas shit, bro. We get it. We get it. But yeah, to face the Puerto Rican team, I think this starting lineup should be the same, and they should have the same defensive intensity, and we know what they're gonna bring on offense. I mean, LeBron, he's still He's not in his prime anymore, but he's still as effective. And had a couple he had a couple dunks in this game, had some bully ball moments, going down low, and it's still LeBron. LeBron's still going to be LeBron, but defensively is where you want to see activity at. You want to see active hands. You want to see guys rotating. Not leaving guys open, and if they can keep this same starting lineup, I don't think they're ever going to start off games slowly. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Tuna Sports says it's Le Captain America. We give LeBron that. Yeah, Le Captain. Yeah, we give him that. We give him that. Played a good game. Shout out to him. Yeah. Thomas says he's a liability. He gives up more than he scores. How many points did he give up in this game? Le Capo. Bro, yeah, funny, man. Yeah, funny. Yeah, funny. But yeah, it was a good game, and hopefully Embiid, like I said, hopefully Embiid can you know get back into the rotation. Hopefully he plays against Puerto Rico on Saturday. Um, if not, the jokes are just gonna it's gonna get even worse than what is going on right now, and he's going to get clowned. He's gonna get picked on, and he's gonna be the laughing stock in the NBA. So, and it's Embiid's fault. He should blame himself more than anybody else because he's not playing good. So you gave Steve Kerr no other choice but to bench you. So yeah. He says, Andre, why are you reading like Big Tone? How am I reading like Big Tone? Embiid should only play when it's garbage time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think so. I think they can definitely fit him um in the games when it's close. I think Embiid could definitely give you some production, but I don't think he should start, right. But I think he can definitely come off the bench and give you good production. DFJ, can I ask you a real question? Do you think the dream team is better than this squad? I heard people debating it. I told somebody that I believe this year's team is better than the dream team. I don't care what anybody says. The dream team, they played easy competition. They only played against teams with a total of 6 players that were in the NBA. Now this year is totally different. You have a lot of players in the NBA that are playing for their own countries. So the competition is different. The talent level is different. The skill set is different, right? Because you have guys that can, multiple players that can, drive, kick, shoot, play defense, and what have you. But the 1992 Dream Team, it wasn't like that. Not everybody could, shoot the outside shot, right? Other than Larry Bird and a few other players, who else was a threat from three, right? But this current team, everybody can space you out, and everybody can shoot threes. But that wasn't. It's not the same on that Dream Team. Now I get it, different era, different play style, different era. So you can't really compare the eras. But I mean, I think this era with their skill set, I believe is better than um the 1992 Dream Team because these guys have most of these guys don't have a flaw offensively, you know. So I'll just leave it at that. Oh, you was okay. So Thomas, you was talking to okay. All right, my fault, bro. My only argument is John Stockton and Magic Johnson are better point guards than the point guards we have. I don't think John Stockton is better than Steph Curry. I don't think so. No. Now Magic Johnson, yeah, there's definitely an argument, but I don't think John Stockton is as a as a player. I don't think so. The world caught up. That's what they say. I mean, yeah, you can make that argument. Tony Kukoc is winning gold if wait, let me read this good. Tony Kukoc is winning gold if USA team not in it in 2024. Mm, you talking about Tony Kukoc, that Croatian team in 1992 would have won in today's Olympics if Team USA was not in it? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. Chris Mullin, Larry Bird, but I get your point. I mean, Chris Mullin is not better than Kevin Durant. He's not better than LeBron. He's not better than Tatum. He's not better than those three players. Dream Team blown these. I Nah, I disagree. It's gonna be competitive. They're not blowing it. Nah, it's gonna be competitive. Nah. I mean, against this team they just played against South Sudan. I understand. Yeah, I can get with you, but not against Canada. They're not blowing them out. I don't think so. Compare Curry versus John Stockton assists. Nobody's cracking his assists even today, bro. I mean, if you're talking about, I mean, playmaking, yeah, I mean, definitely, definitely. John Stockton is a better playmaker than Stephen Curry. But I mean, some of those assists, let's be honest, bro. Some of those assists were they were cooking stats for him, just like they were doing with Michael Jordan. Some of these plays where Stockton passes the ball and then Karl Malone has to do his own creation off of that pass, and then John Stockton was being credited for the assist, and it has been documented. I'm not the one saying it's been documented. So, yeah, 6,119 assists to Curry. Yeah, I mean it's a different. I mean Steph Curry's a different player. Steph Curry's not playmaking point guard. He's a scoring point guard. So that's why you see Draymond Green doing the facilitating for the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, I'm happy too. I'm happy too, Cottage. Joker losing by 50. Yeah, Tom is funny as hell. Y'all too young for me. Wait, he said y'all too young for me to even go off on what y'all talking about. I mean, Thomas, I'm just stating facts. The talent that the Dream Team went up against is not the same talent compared to what Team USA got to go up against now. It's not the same. You just have better players. The skill set is better, right? You just have better players. It is what it is. Curry can't see magic. I mean, I have magic over Stephen Curry, so I would agree with you on that point for sure. For sure, John Pure pass first, but still could switch that rock. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying that Steph Curry's a better overall player. Better overall player. That's what I'm saying. How you feel about what I'm saying, Thomas? Yeah, I mean, we know Thomas gonna cap for the old generation, so it is what it is. We get it, bro. You don't like this era. You don't care for the 90s. We get it. But yeah, I think I touched on everything that I wanted to touch on. Um, yeah. He says Mullen just outshot KD in three point practice. Oh, you're saying Chris Mullen? I mean, it's come on, Thomas. So you try to rank these guys off of what they did in practice. Come on, come on. Katie's a way better 3-point shooter than Chris Mullen. I don't think anybody will argue that. Come on, Katie's way efficient on more volume than Chris Mullen. It is what it is. Today's rules boost these. Come on, Thomas. You can't. I mean, okay, let's play that game then. Did the NBA not move the 3-point line closer to the basket in 1994? They try to make it easier for those guys to shoot threes. How about that? Okay, I agree. It's about the era you in, right? And the NBA, they moved the 3-point line closer to the basket. Yeah, they moved it back, but you can't tell me that he didn't benefit off that 3 seasons when it was closer. That's the point. When they moved it closer, he did benefit off of that. And I think he was probably shooting like 5 or 6 threes on better efficiency. Yeah, KD is a great scorer. Yeah. Jordan broke the NBA record with the line back. Fool. Wait, what record? Jordan didn't break no 3-point record. What are you talking about? I'm not trying to like I'm not denigrating Chris Mullin. I'm just saying KD is a better player. It is what it is. Yeah, I can drop the link and tell me what 3-point record that Michael Jordan broke. Did we not see Michael Jordan in the 3-point contest at the All-Star game? He was trash. He was trash. Now, Thomas, I dropped the link. You can, yeah. Oh, there he is.
Good. You ready for school? Ready for class?
All right, let me hear it. Wait, time out. Hold on. First of all, what record did Michael Jordan break in terms of the 3-pointers?
That's one of the things I'm about to teach you.
All right, go
ahead.
All
right, so you know Danny Green, when Danny Green broke the NBA Finals record for the most threes in the NBA Finals, right? You know whose record he broke?
Who?
It wasn't no fucking Larry Bird. It wasn't no fucking Steph Curry. It wasn't no fucking Chris Mullin. It wasn't no fucking Kevin Durant.
Steph Curry has the record.
It has the record now. He has the record now. When Danny Green broke the record, that was Jordan's record. He hit 7 threes in the finals with the line pushback. That was his record.
Jordan he didn't make no 7 threes, bro. You capping. You capping right now.
Okay, do you want to bet your mortgage?
What?
Do you want to bet your mortgage? You want to bet your car title? What you want to
bet? Nah, he didn't break no record. I know. You talking about the 1992 NBA Finals. He did not break no record, bro.
Andre. Yes, he did. What? Of all people, this is the funny thing. Of all people, you think I'm going to come on your panel and lie to you? Why would I lie to you on your panel so you can post the fucking screenshot of me lying? I'm not her.
Okay. Let me say he did break the record. I'll give him that. But I mean, 6 threes. Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm telling you.
Okay, go ahead.
He broke the record and he didn't even shoot threes. That's what I'm telling y'all. You realize? So y'all use this point of, okay, these guys score more, they're better scorers now. No, they're not. The rules are just in their favor. Back then, if Curry shot the ball, and don't blabber out that I'm trying to bash on Curry. Back then, matter of fact, let's just get off Curry's name because this era is full of LeBron sexuals who are not going to let you talk about Curry because when you expose Curry, you expose that bullshit narrative that they want to talk about. The 73-9 team that they fucking love to talk about is the same fucking team that blew a 3-1 lead that motherfuckers like to talk about at the bubble. But, that's different. That's the shit we live in, right? We live in a fucking fabricated ass world with a bunch of lies.
But Thomas,
here's the thing.
Let me say this real quick. I mean, I've been on record saying that the Golden State Warriors in 2016, them blowing the 3-1 lead, that's the biggest choke job in NBA history. I've been on record saying that, so you can go ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm not up here to bash Curry. What I'm
right.
saying is, when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, don't say, "Oh my God!" Now you're talking about the team that LeBron likes to hang his hat on. To, they overhyped the fucking. That same James Harden, the same dude y'all made fun of on the pull up forever, was sending that same fucking team home with a healthy Kevin Durant. If Chris Paul don't pop his fucking hamstring, that team
No,
is overrated.
we don't know that, bro.
They was up 3-2. Golden State won game one, and Houston was on a 3-1 run. 4 straight games, Houston was dominating. 4 straight games. That shit wasn't going back and forth. 4 straight, they got 8 alive. And Chris Paul was a big reason.
Hold on, Thomas.
But
Houston won the first 2, and then Golden State tied it up. And then going back to Houston.
No. Golden State won game one. Houston went on a 3-1 run. Golden State got one of those games in there. That's how that series went. But Houston was dominating the fucking series.
Wait. So if you say that, then that means that Houston Rockets team, they blew a 3-1 lead, which I don't think that happened.
No. Houston was up 3-2. They was
3-2.
down.
Yeah.
They was down 0-1, and the next 4 games they dominated. Chris Paul gets hurt, and then Golden State took off. That's another one. But listen, that's the thing. You can't say, Thomas, you can't say this, and you can use that. You can't turn around and say, okay, well, Golden State was going to win the series. Because if you say I'm assuming, you're assuming, so you can't say that. All we know is Houston Rockets had that team shook. Curry had his head down. Chris Paul was in his face every night, had him shook like a halfway court. He was only averaging like 22 points a game, and then Chris Paul gets hurt and he goes off and boosts up his average. And Ariza and Morte and PJ Tucker was putting the fucking works. Kevin Durant was scoring good, but that's a different conversation. So the reason I said all that is to say this. Okay, look, if Trae Young, Dame Dollar, or Zach LaVine, LeBron's even trying it now. If any of these guys ever even thought about trying a shot like that, they would have been benched, and there wouldn't be no averaging 30. They'd be averaging 8 points as of. And the reason I say that is because of a different era. And you can't tell me that's not true, because it is true, because I watched the era where they didn't even want you shooting at long shots. It was a 2-point error. They didn't even want you hardly shooting threes, much less a fucking 35-footer. So what I'm saying is, when the NBA changed the rules, and they admitted they changed the rules on purpose to make it a perimeter basketball game, which is cool.
Thomas, I'll be right back. I'm going on mute, but I gotta take care of something real quick. But go ahead, bro.
Oh, okay. So what we seeing right now, wouldn't flow back then. Okay, for instance, you notice how, let's use Kyrie. You notice how Kyrie dribbles a basketball? If you ever have YouTube TV or DVR, whatever it is y'all can use, go watch him dribble the ball, and I want you to play it in slow motion. His complete hand, his whole hand. Iverson did it every once in a while. So yes, it was done, but it is abused right now. So anybody y'all that plays blacktop or rec ball, okay, and y'all go outside, right, and you're having fun with the homies, and y'all just know you can't travel, know you can't do this, but we do it because we're having fun with our neighbors, right? We have fun with our cousins, so we just kind of abuse the rule book, right? But what I'm saying is, if you played basketball and the offensive player can put his whole palm under the basketball, like I said, Iverson did it at times, but he wasn't allowed to abuse it. He just did it more than the others. But the whole NBA doesn't now. So what I'm saying is, like, when you compare errors, you have to compare like the skill set, right? So basketball, how y'all watching now? Y'all say, "Oh, this greatest dribble ever." No. Isaiah Thomas was doing more miraculous shit with the basketball than Kyrie does, but Kyrie's able to do more by the rule book, aka Manu Ginobili used to use the Euro. Now the Euro is a 4 or 5 step Euro. This shit is completely abused. Not all the time, but it's abused, right? That James Harden step back. If you even thought about doing that shit in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, 60s, 50s, bro, you would be called for traveling. And if you started doing it too many times, you'd have been benched. So your 30 points per game would have been 8 points per game because you wouldn't have been allowed to do this because coaches didn't put up with that shit, right? So when I say it's a rule book error, you have
hold on.
So when you compare errors.
But Thomas, we saw a lot of players averaging 30 in those eras. Yo guy Dominique Wilkins was putting up 30. I think he won the scoring title in 1986.
No, I'm not saying they can't average points. That's what I'm getting at. If he's putting up 30 without being able to use step backs, Euros, and carrying the basketball, and like Paul Pierce had a step back, right? But his step back was a hop back, side step back. That shit that James, and listen, James Harden plays for the Clippers. So for me to say this, I'm talking about a dude that's on the team that I root for, right? So right. I gotta be transparent here. That shit James Harden did is fucking garbage. You may tell you what else puts a lot of points on the board, right? And the reason we're talking about all this is because, and like Andre said, if Dominique can average 30 over there, why he couldn't average 40 or 45 if he was able to do the Trae Young abuse? And I'm a Hawks fan, but I'm transparent. Trae Young and that fuck-ass, bullshit-ass shit he gets away with. James Harden did it. Dame Dollar did it. Trae Young did it. That flopping into fucking free throws and getting 10 free throws a game? If Dominique Wilkins was allowed to do that, he'd average 45 because Andre just told y'all he was average 30. So, like, when you talk about errors, you can't talk about points per game. You got to talk about skill sets and the mindsets and talents, right? So, for instance, there's another thing that has to change if you go back in time. These guys have to slow down. You see how slow Luka is now?
Yeah,
Larry Bird was faster than that then. So if we bring Larry Bird,
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you have any business. So what I'm saying to y'all, you see how slow Luka is. Larry Bird's faster than Luka. Larry Bird played in an era where guys played slower, the game was slower, right? So if you take Luka back, if you take this generation backwards, they have to slow down. They have to use less technology, less rehab, all these extra enhancements they get now. That you wasn't getting that in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 50s. All that you couldn't do that. So to bring the guys up, y'all realize Wilt Chamberlain was faster than these players y'all watching right now? This motherfucker played back what in the 50s, 40s, 60s? He's faster than these motherfuckers. Jordan was the fastest dude in the fucking league, running 4.3 40s at 6'6". So to bring Wilt to Joker's era, you have to give Wilt more athleticism and shit he already had, right? He gets access to more stuff that these guys have access to. Now they're popping Achilles, they're playing ball the next year. Back then, you popped the fuck Achilles, you was down for the count. Your fucking career was over. It ended Dominique Wilkins' career. Kobe had the same injury, came back, popping the people's ass. Dominique had an injury. He was done. So like what I'm saying is, you can't say, okay, well, this guy averages this many points, this is sufficient. No. He averages what he averages in the rule book that he plays in. Y'all watch Jordan's killer instinct. You watch Kobe praise Jordan. You watch everybody praise Jordan as he was a killer. If he was a killer in the era where the rule book was different, and he leads NBA Finals and playoffs averaging points back then, what the fuck you think he's gonna do now when they play 5-out basketball? Where Rudy Gobert's Zubaks, they get benched for Kevin Love's and Chris Bosh so he can spread the floor, play wide open paintball. If Jordan can outdo Giannis and LeBron, then what is he going to do when the paint's wide open? Because back then they had 2 rim protectors, power forward and the center, right? The power forward and the center didn't even hardly leave the paint. Therefore, the guys guarding him didn't leave the paint. Therefore, it stayed clogged. Can you imagine Giannis, Gobert, and LeBron playing on the same team? There's no space. But that's what they did back then, and averaging more. If they average that then, what would they average now? Well, LeBron trots out Kyrie, J.R. Smith. Kevin Love, get your ass in the corner, shoot threes, get out my paint. Tristan Thompson, you could play at times. Chris Bosh, get your ass in the corner. Chris Bosh and Kevin Love didn't go to the corners. They was post-up players. LeBron made them jump shooters for his personal gain. So like you say, Andre, if this man was averaging 30 doing this and with this rule book, these guys up there, they gain more speed and athletic. This
Thomas, you going in and out.
I should have. I thought I had a good signal. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good. No? You could. But I want us to go back because we were talking about Michael Jordan in 1992. That's when he had that 6 threes. But my case in point that I'm trying to make is those guys were not good 3-point shooters, and that's why I am saying that this current USA team, because these guys can shoot threes, they can get to the basket, they can make layups, they can make plays, right? That's why I'm saying that these guys have a better skill set than the players in the 90s. That's why I'm putting these players over the players in the 90s.
Okay, so let's play the game this way. All right, so other than the Golden State Warriors, all the NBA champions that y'all are seeing, even the losers that y'all are seeing in the finals, they're not taking advantage of threes. So let's go through the teams, right? Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Yeah, the Bulls had when Jordan played, Andre, he had 4 3-point champions, 2 on each 3-peat. Golden State's only got 1 3-point champion in their era. 1. Unless did Kevin Durant win one? If he did, correct. I don't think Kevin Durant ever won a 3-point champion. Jordan had 4
at the All-Star game. That's what you're talking about.
No. Well, yeah. The 3-point shootout. Yeah. Jordan had 4. Okay, he had John Paxson and Craig
Hodges. Yep.
Craig Hodges. He had Steve Kerr and B.J. Armstrong. Those are 4. Right? 4. So Golden State only had 1.
They're not better 3-point shooters than these guys, though.
Well, keep in mind, Andre, let's go to the gym, right? Let's me and you go to the gym. Say we're in the same city. All right?
Okay.
If we play in this era and me and you go to practice, how many 3-point shots we probably going to put up? If we're a 3-point champion, we're probably putting up 100, 200, 300 3-pointers a day, right?
Right.
Back then, John Paxson and Hodges and boys, they weren't putting up that many 3-pointers. But the point is, if they practice more, you can't say they wouldn't make more just because you want to champion the era that we live in, right? I'm not saying Steph Curry don't do remarkable shit that I've never seen shoot the ball. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But what I am saying is shooters who practice threes a lot more are going to make more, right? Now, if you tell me Shaquille O'Neal's going to start trying to practice threes, then yes, you have a valid point. That's not going to change at all. But you're talking about 3-point champions in a 2-point era. If those 3-point champions played in a 3-point era, right, they would shoot at a higher volume, which y'all speak on.
Right.
And that's not arguable. They do shoot more threes. Okay. But at the same time, let's take the same argument. Like I said, if Curry, Trae Young, and Dame and them boys think they can do what they do now back in that era, it's not going to happen for several reasons. The game was coached different. You would have been benched. So therefore, all the shit you see, you wouldn't see because they didn't coach that. So if I go play basketball for Andre, and Andre's my coach, and I played for Andre from 2000 to 2010, and he lives and dies by the 3-pointer. Coach K, for example, at Duke, he lived and died by the 3. Duke Blue Devils, under Coach K, was always going to jack up threes, right? But if I go play for TuneIn Sports, and TuneIn Sports, it's Chuck Daly.
Uh-oh. What's good, casual? Hold on, Thomas.
He don't believe that way, right? So
Wait. One
Oh,
second, Tom.
let
Okay,
me
go
finish
ahead.
my
Finish
statement,
it.
then
Yeah,
let
finish
it
it.
go.
Finish it.
So if I play for Andre and he's teaching me, okay, we're gonna be a 3-point sniping team, and then I play for you for 10 years, right? And then that same 10 years, I go play for Tunian in a different era. And when I get to Tunian's team, Tunian says, okay, we ain't doing none of that shit over here. If I see you shoot the ball out there, you're going to the bench. So what I'm saying is, if you're really going to sit on the panel, or just in real life talking to your homies and cousins, and actually think that Ray Allen, Larry Bird, Curry, he's taught Steph Curry what Steph knows. If you think these 3-point snipers, Chris Mullin, Mark Price,
Reggie Miller,
John Stott, Reggie Miller, if you really sit there, bro, if you really sit there and act like these guys could shoot the ball from 30, 35 feet away, you're absolutely out your mind. And it's also, let's put it on y'all's there now. If I really think that Giannis wouldn't be a physical player like he is now, back then I would be out of my mind, because he is a physical specimen who plays physicality, which would actually play in his favor. He would like that shit in the 90s and 80s. If Dennis Rodman and the bad boy Pistons and a lot of people just like to talk about the Pistons, motherfucking the Lakers and the Celtics, they had some roughnecks too now. They put the hurting on you. Giannis would live for that shit. So if I'm going to give you credit for saying Giannis can go back and do what he's doing, then you can't sit here and honestly tell me that these guys I just named would, in an era that is allowed to do this, would not elevate their game, take a step back and shoot the ball from 30, 35 feet, because they knew they wouldn't be benched, therefore they would be trying. To actually think Larry Bird and these Hall of Famers, that, keep in mind, y'all staff that y'all have together put those same Hall of Famers I speak of, they put more of those in the top 75 and more of those in the top 25 than the people y'all have now. These are people. This is a panel, right? I didn't put this panel there. They did. So if you want me to give you credit to go back, now Giannis is quick, but if Giannis is going to go back in time, he has to slow down a little bit, right? And if Larry Bird comes up in time, he has to speed up a little bit, right? So that's why I say you got to throw the points per game and all that shit out the window and just go on the skill set. And the only reason I brought up the Chris Mullin, KD, and then we let Casual go. The only reason I brought up the Chris Mullin, KD practice was, I understand his practice, right? But Chris Mullin was a fire elite shooter. So was Del Curry. There is no Steph Curry without Papa teaching Steph how to do this, right? And Papa wasn't allowed to shoot where Steph is allowed to shoot from. So the guy who taught Steph how to do what he's doing, you're going to tell me he couldn't come in this era and do it? The same guy who taught him how to shoot the ball?
You didn't teach him.
Not on the same level, Thomas, because these guys can shoot threes off the dribble. Guys in the 80s and the 90s, they're not doing that.
They can only do that, Andre, because they practice. In the 90s, they didn't practice that. Right, that's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna let you go ahead, bro. Casual, what's good, bro?
No, but you know what they also didn't do? They also didn't practice on shooting off of the dribble.
Off of the dribble, right?
Stephen Curry did. They didn't practice on their handle, period, nearly as much as point guards or guards, period, in this era has. So
right.
to say
That's what I'm saying.
A little bit. Yeah, we can't really hear you that much.
They didn't, back in the day, they didn't practice really outside of maybe shooting drills at the 3-point line. Exactly. Mm-hmm. They didn't practice doing any other of the skills that these guards, period, have been trained to since like the late 2000s. So to assume that they would just be able to come into this era and to think that they could be able to replicate what guards like Stephen Curry has done, guards like Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard have done, that's crazy.
You realize Isaiah Thomas was already doing what Kyrie doing long ago, right?
Isaiah Thomas is nowhere near the overall score that a player like Kyrie Irving is.
Isaiah Thomas is a better player than Kyrie Irving is. Overall, all the way around the board.
I will not refute that, but we're not talking about overall player. And there's certain
he's a better scorer. He just has scores with him.
He's not a better scorer.
If Isaiah took the ball and said, "Okay, I'm gonna play just like Kyrie," which is absolutely not a fucking thing on the court except score, yes, he would be a better scorer. But that's not how Isaiah's mindset was, and you just spoke on it. They didn't practice that. It's a different era to act like a human. Let's take you for example, Casual. How many things in your life do you think you open up a business as? You think you're only gonna be a business owner at just, I'll just say trucking because I own a truck now, but whatever it is you do, whatever you're good at, do you actually think that Casual could only be good at one thing? So if I took Casual back to 1980 and I said, Casual, you'll never be able to run businesses back then. You can only run your business that you got right now. That is a total disrespect to you as a human, as a grown man. That is stupid really, for me even to think that.
Go ahead.
That's all I'm saying. So for you to watch,
but it's really not. It's really not.
It really is.
It's really not.
Because you're a human.
If you're basing it on the era, so that means you're taking into account what the systemic ideology that was put into the masses. That means you're taking into account what people valued, discrimination against certain styles or certain people overall. Then no, it would not be disrespectful to say that I couldn't be able to start a business in that era. You couldn't say the same today. And it doesn't mean that you're questioning. It doesn't mean that you're questioning my work ethic or my intelligence. It's just saying you couldn't do it, but you couldn't be able to get with that era because again,
you could though.
But that how?
Because I believe. But because let's take Giannis for example. I like to choose names. I know other people in the chat. It's not their favorite fucking because that way they keep their emotions out of it, right? If you honestly think. And I don't know who y'all's favorite players are. I know I know some of them. But if y'all honestly think, and keep in mind, when I push Giannis back in the 80s and 90s, I have to slow him down, right? Because, Casual, if you're born in let's say you're born in 2045, all right, you're going to have better technology in 2045 than we have in 2024. You're going to have better rehab. You're going to have better medicine. Yeah. So if you're born then, that doesn't mean you can't come back to the same era you're at right now. You're already in this era. The shit is more enhanced.
You just bounce Giannis, but right? you just bounce Giannis back.
No. I'm about to. No, this was this era, and I pushed him back. I compared you in 2045. I compared you in 2045.
Okay, you better. You better know.
All right, so I compared you in 2045, because I want your mind to grasp this, because we're about to push Giannis back 20, 30 years.
Okay.
So I'm asking you right now, while you're in your prime, you're young.
Okay.
If you was born in 2045,
okay,
and I brought you to 2024, yes, they would have more advanced technology and better stuff in 2045 than Casual has right now. But that's still a fucking human who ties his shoes the same way you tie your fucking shoes. There's no fucking difference. Just because it's 2030, you're still a human. You still hate to lose, right?
True. That's not true.
It is true. You're still a fucking human.
Really not.
Because, so why is Michael Jordan?
So do you?
Why is Michael Jordan a faster basketball player? Why is Michael Jordan a faster basketball player than Russell Westbrook is? And you see the age difference. You realize Michael ran why is Jordan faster 30 years ago than Westbrook is right now?
Is that even true?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, time out right there. Do y'all understand y'all trying to give me pushback and then y'all have to say, Thomas, I don't know if that's true. Let me look it up. And then you go look it up and it's true. Jordan ran a 4.340. He had a vertical higher than everybody in the fucking league. For like 30 fucking, I think somebody just now beat his vertical, And I'm not even sure they beat it. He might even still hold the fucking record. So what I'm saying is the dude was born back then, Casual. And the guys now can't outrun him and they can't jump higher than him. So therefore, yes, I can take Giannis. Therefore, I can take Giannis and I can push him back 30 years and he still can be great. Because if Jordan can have a higher vertical than LeBron right now, and he has a faster 40-yard dash than Westbrook right now, back then than he does now, therefore, yes, I can take a human and push him back and still have the same effect of the game. Jordan ran a 4.340, my brother. He had a 40, I think it's a 48 or 46-inch vertical, brother. He outrun Westbrook and outjumped LeBron. Do you see the age difference? Jordan is old as fuck. So, yes, if he was better physically then than these guys are now, why can't I take Giannis for now and push him back to Larry Bird's era and say, yes, he still would dominate? Because, see, that's the line I'm unbiased at. I know Giannis would love to play in the era because they was physical. That fits him. Do you know they actually call offensive push-off fouls on the shoulder and the elbow? They call it on Paul George all the time. They call it on Kawhi. They've called it on Harden. They call it on Jason Tatum all the time. These guys ain't allowed to play physical. So if Giannis could go back and be allowed to play physical, hell, that fits his game right now. So you could take him back and he still would average 30. And you bring Jordan up, and Jordan would average more because the paint is wide open. So y'all said, well, Jordan can't shoot. Okay, cool. The paint is open, so Jordan gets to the paint easier. So therefore, you're taking his average and boosting it. Why? Because the paint is open because Karl-Anthony Towns, Chris Love, and Bosh is out of the way. Right? Back then, it wasn't out of the way. Right. Jordan had to go through those guys. Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing, they're paint rim protected defending bigs all in the paint. If he could do that then to those guys, you're telling me that motherfucking Chris Bosh and Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson is going to give any fucking resistance? The Knicks had a top 5 defense in NBA history with paint bigs. So if Jordan could kill their paint, why the fuck couldn't he kill fucking Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love's paint? You see what I'm saying?
DFJ is actually declining to trade for Amari Stoudemire. That's the worst thing Cavaliers ever done. Wow. Okay. DFJ, I don't know where your position was on this argument, but your whole point is like, it's throwing me for a loop because you're basically correlating because he does have the skill set, which, mind you, you're pointing at generational talents. So their talents are going to stand out through eras, no matter where they're at, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s basketball, matter the pace, no matter the defense philosophy.
I pointed out 4 3-point shooters on the Bulls.
I'll let you finish.
I've already pointed out 3. Okay, well, you going to finish?
Let him get it off.
I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish, but don't say I only pointed out certain people. I pointed out 4 guys that was not those.
Those are generational talents. Those are generational talents.
No, they're not. B.J. Armstrong, Steve Kerr, not generational talents.
You didn't say B.J. Armstrong. You didn't tell me B.J. Armstrong and Steve Kerr.
Okay, well, you wasn't hearing the whole conversation then. So if you're coming up in the conversation, you don't know the whole conversation too. That's what you're telling me.
I literally just sat back and heard you talk for a whole 10 minutes. I got the gist of your point.
Okay, I'm just saying, don't lie and say I said only those players when I did. That's all I'm saying.
As far as what I've heard, you've only named generational talent. So I'm gonna go off of what I heard. But anyway.
Okay, well, you can go off what you heard, but I said more than that.
Okay, so if I'm going off of what I've heard, I'm just going off of what I heard.
So you're joining half the conversation. I understand. Go ahead.
Anyway, so the problem with your whole point is you're basically saying that you're bringing up generational talents, but the fact of the matter is, and even further that point, you bring up Steve Kerr and B.J. Armstrong, which I didn't hear this point, but DFJ, I hope you told him that the level of
talent is not
the the level of skill that is required of shooters in the 90s is not the same requirement of shooters in the 2000s
in this era
or the 2010s or the 2020s.
Yeah, it's a different era.
Okay, so
that don't make it a better era though, because if you take the same players and go back and they listen.
So if you are in the 2020s, and the offenses are more complex than they were in the 90s, because the 90s was more benefiting off of illegal defenses than actually focusing on the complexity of their offensive sets. You're going to be required to be more of an off-ball threat. You're also going to be required to actually have some level of ball handling ability, more sophisticated than just your fundamental pound. You actually have to have some level of foot speed and intelligence within those sets that you're running. Those are things that Steve Kerr and BJ Armstrong showed no evidence of in the 90s, because they were reduced to essentially sitting back in the triangle and watching Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen run through the sets until they got open, and they just primarily focused on getting their shots, on hitting their shots when they got the ball. That is not the case in these times. We're looking at a player like Duncan Robinson, who is an amazing off-the-ball three-point shooter, coming off of screens and being able to shoot in uncomfortable positions, and he couldn't even get minutes because of his lackadaisical ability, because of his lackadaisical ball handling skills. So what they were allowed to do in the 90s, because of the ideology, because of the offensive and defensive sets, is not what they would get away with in this era. That's what I'm saying. Skill set wise, can they probably be able to develop? Sure. I don't know. But that's why these hypotheticals are really dumb, if we're being quite honest with each other. But I concur.
Yeah, I said that off the top. You can't compare the eras. You can't do that. To act like Steve Kerr and you gotta remember, these guys are 30 years old. If they're playing in this era, they never was even taught to play the way they was at 30. They was taught from day one to play like Duncan Robinson. So yes, they would be doing that, because they'd already be taught that. Since for the past 20 years, they'd be taught that already. It's not like you just pick them up and drop them. That's not how it works. They grow up in the era that they're in. So Steve Kerr would grow up playing like J.J. Redick. He would grow up playing like Duncan Robinson. He wouldn't just be standing there. You don't just take them and set them over in the air and say, okay, and if you're going to do that, then okay, let's do that. So now take these same guys and put them over there and say, okay, Curry, you can no longer shoot the ball from past the three-point line. You have to shoot all the way. So now, all this that y'all brag about Curry being, a floor spacer, he ain't that no more, because he can't shoot it from a certain spot. So you can't pick up these players and just set them up here in the fucking league and say they're not going. That's not the way they would be trained from day one. You don't just pick them up and set them over there and still limit them. Steve Kerr and these guys would already be coming off screens at 2 years old. They would be. You don't just pick them up and say they don't come off screens. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I think we're arguing two different things.
I think you're trying to reduce a certain star in Stephen Curry, but yeah, you're creating a hypothetical in which Steve Kerr and BJ Armstrong are able to properly develop in their era. Like, I'm not understanding how.
Exactly. But because if Curry goes back to that era, see, y'all just focus on this era. Y'all ain't saying, okay, well, after I say this, let me flip sides and be unbiased and go to the other side. Well, Curry wouldn't be able to play the way he plays right now back then, so he would not be the same player.
Even being unbiased. Let's say I took away the thing that makes Stephen Curry special. One of the things that makes Stephen Curry special, which is being able to shoot well beyond the 3-point line at a historic rate. Okay, let's say we did that. He still has something that Steve Kerr didn't have, BJ Armstrong didn't have. Really, no guard in the NBA had. Even Reggie Miller was reduced to shooting off ball. Stephen Curry can shoot that efficient while having the ball in his hands, out his hands, running with the ball, without the ball. Those are things that he just naturally had. That was his birthright. He was born with that ability.
No, he wasn't. No, he was taught. He was taught that era, and he was taught by his father. You ain't just born and learn how to play basketball. That's not how that works.
You can naturally be able to shoot. That you can naturally be born to shoot, and he just honed in on.
No, so you realize his daddy was one of the greatest 3-point shooters that ever played the game, and you just want to say fuck his daddy. Yeah, like you realize
nobody said that.
You realize he would slap you for even saying that.
Nobody said that.
You did just say that. You just said, he can just be born to shoot.
I didn't mention his dad at all. I said he was born that way. That is not taking
anything. He wasn't born that way. Actually, he was taught by one of the greatest shooters to ever live.
If anything, that's bigging up his dad because his dad had those genes as well.
These guys are taught how to play the game. His dad was one of the greatest shooters who ever stepped on the court. That's who taught him and Seth how to do what they doing. That's what I'm telling you. And you want to talk about what Reggie could? Motherfucker, Reggie would catch the ball and post up people and shoot over the top of them. Steph can't do that.
I don't know if you know this, but
Reggie goes back door all the time.
Stephen Curry with a bad form in middle school was one of the most efficient shooters in his area. His dad then forced him for an entire offseason going into high school to change his entire jump shot, and his efficiency got even higher. So yes, he was genetically an amazing shooter, so amazing that even with his dad helping him become an even better shooter, that only provided further evidence of what we already knew from when he was a jit.
You think his dad never taught him since the time he came out the moon?
I literally just said he taught him. And
you said his dad. You said his dad picked him up at this certain age and did that. No, his dad taught him from day one.
No, I didn't say that. I said he's genetically an amazing shooter, and even with his dad helping him, he was still an amazing shooter because of the genes that his dad has. That's also, you do realize that also giving kudos to Dale by saying that genetically he was an amazing shooter. He gave the same shooting prowess to Stephen Curry, and Stephen Curry just took it to a different level.
Yeah, his dad taught him how to fucking shoot the ball. That's what I'm telling you. So you want to talk about what the guys did back then? So let's do this then. You realize can't none of these fucking point guards do a fucking thing Magic Johnson can do? That bitch, he averaged more assists. He averaged more assists, and he post up motherfuckers and abuse motherfuckers like a center. Curry can't do that.
And that's why Magic Johnson is a one of ones.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other players that can do shit. If Curry is not allowed to shoot the ball deep, he's not going to be as effective. If Curry plays back then in the 80s and 90s, he is not running around dribbling the basketball because that's not what the fuck they did, as you just said. That's not how they coached the game to do.
So what was John Starks doing? What was Walt Frazier doing? What was Jerry West doing? What was Oscar Robertson doing? Were they just sitting there just giving the ball and then running away from it? Like what were they doing? Were they just standing back at the 3-point line waiting to get the ball? What were they doing?
They wouldn't stand it back. And they wasn't allowed to shoot the ball from a certain position either. Which means
score heavy guards.
Right.
Which means Curry is not spacing the court. That's what I'm telling you. You take the guys and put them back in time, right?
How is he not spacing the floor if he has his shooting?
Because they're not allowed to step back and shoot them deep shots like that. Therefore, he don't get his shot off all the time.
Even if because he's not able to do that, he's still an historically great mid-range shooter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's a phenomenal finisher. Okay, so even if you took away his 3-point shooting, he's still competent enough to be able, with his ball handling skills, to also be able to get his shot off on the mid-range, in the lane, out the lane. It didn't really matter. Curry is still impactful. So what are you saying?
Small guards are not going in the lane back then, scoring at a high fucking clip.
So then I ask you again.
Man, Jerry West was 6'2".
So I ask you again, what was Jerry West doing? What was Tiny Archibald doing? What was Walt Frazier doing? What was JoJo White doing? What was Dave Bing doing?
That's what I'm telling you. What you're missing is nobody said he couldn't shoot threes no more. He would shoot way less threes.
You're literally saying he can't shoot it.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I said shoot it from deep, but you can't. You don't know how to listen. I said he can't shoot it from deep. So a lot of his shit that he does, it is deep shooting, which creates more space. What I'm saying, and I'm not saying he won't score the ball. What I'm saying is when you take errors and you move people in errors, they have to change and do a lot of different things. So if you want to say, Okay, but what you didn't agree on was what you tried to throw under the bus and thought you was gonna be slick with it. Was saying, okay, well if Curry can adjust. Nah, motherfucker, you didn't want Steve Curry and BJ Armstrong and all them to adjust, so fuck Curry adjusted too. So therefore, take Curry's 30 points a game.
Even if he
no. What you wanted to say was other people can't adjust coming to your era, but you can adjust going to their era, which is biased. Which I said I don't do that.
I did not say.
You did say that. You said you basically said, oh, these guys. You said, oh, these guys won't be able to do this because I said so. That's what you did.
No, I did not.
I think he was saying that that's why he brought up Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, and Tiny Archibald, all those guys. He was saying, I think he's saying that those guys didn't shoot threes, but those guys were dominant guards, and they were able to get their shots off, get into the basket, shooting mid-range, and out the lane. They were still being effective. You brought up that Steph Curry will not be effective if he's not shooting the threes. And he was trying to counter you, saying that we had the guards in the past era. They were not shooting threes, but they were still effective. They were still high-scoring guards. Is that what you're saying, Casual?
Yes, and even further with that, I wasn't even saying that Steve Kerr and Craig Hodges couldn't be able to translate. I'm saying the ideology that they had as guards in that era is not the ideology for their specific role.
Right.
That we.
I think that is my argument.
That's what I'm saying. If they played in this era, they'd be high flying 3-point shooters and they'd average a lot more points. That's my whole point. If you move up to
no, they won't.
You can't.
No, they won't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if that's what you think, then we're gonna say no. These other guys can't go back and do what they do. Then that's how you want to play the game.
I mean, they got the skill set. They can definitely they have the skill set. They can definitely translate to that era.
To be honest with you, Steve Kerr. I would say Craig Hodges, not Craig Hodges. Yeah, I would say Craig Hodges or BJ Armstrong more than Steve Kerr. They could be able to fill a pseudo Tyus Jones role, a floor general, a player that just comes onto the floor just to make sure that.
Okay, so they would average 12 and 7, which is an upgrade of what they did. My point is that.
Did Tyus Jones average?
But they're not shooting 12, 11 threes.
Tyus Jones just averaged 12 and 7.
No, I'm not. I said they're not attempting.
Yes, why ain't they doing it?
No, I said they're not attempting 12 threes and shooting 40% from the 3-point line. They're not doing that. That's what I'm saying. That's my argument. Craig Hodges. I'm saying
even if they did that,
you can't pick and choose to do that.
I'm saying even if they were able to do that, one, that would be a stretch because that would force them to have to be something different than what they were in their era. Steve Kerr in the 90s was not a type.
And they would be because they wouldn't be trained to play that way. That's the whole point.
What?
They wouldn't be the same player back then as they are now. They would be taught different from day one. They wouldn't just be what you saw back then, just like these guys right now. Wouldn't be taught what you're taught by the era that you're in. You are who you are. Steve Kerr leads NBA history in 3-point efficiency.
And DFJ,
he leads. So to say a great shooter can't come over here and shoot the ball is fucking idiotic. Because it's easier to shoot over here than it is back there.
And DFJ, that's why this whole type of hypothetical right now is stupid to me because he's arguing them coming into the era, having some time to be able to adjust, then coming into the league and, okay, I'm ready. I'm saying even if Stephen Curry got sent to the 90s and he didn't have enough time to adjust, and let's say he couldn't shoot threes beyond the 3-point arc like he does in this era, that's fine because he shoots just as efficient at the 3-point line itself. He's an efficient mid-range shooter historically. He's also a phenomenal finisher for this era. And even if you dial it back to that era with those defensive bigs and that rim protection and that level of physicality y'all love to hang y'all hat on so much, he was still fare well because he actually has a solid ball handling skills. He does not dribble with his hand down. I don't know why people think that that's like a thing. And then he's able to pass.
What point are y'all making? What point are y'all making?
You're making the okay. Hear me good.
No, y'all ain't even acknowledged the point I made. Y'all on a whole different point.
Okay, you just asked what is the point. My point is,
because y'all ain't even saying the point that I said in the first place.
God damn, bro, you're arguing something that we're not.
How about you cuss at yourself because you couldn't fucking listen in the first place, dumbass? What I said was he wouldn't be shooting the ball from deep like that because a whole different era. Nobody said the motherfucker wouldn't score.
And he would still be.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. It was a different era.
Yes, he would.
No, he wouldn't. They didn't teach that back then. No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. So you're trying to say Larry Bird and Ray Allen motherfuckers couldn't shoot the ball from fucking deep just because y'all was born in a certain era? The fuck?
They wouldn't.
Yes, the fuck they would, because it would be allowed to. So they've been doing this shit for 20 years before they even got to the NBA. Just come in and just fucking do this shit overnight.
This is your fault. I blame
you. It's your fault for jumping in the conversation. You didn't know what the fuck you was talking about. Me and DFJ was talking about.
Would not be shooting beyond. Would be shooting half.
Yes, the fuck they would. Yes, they would. So you're trying to say
other than Steph Curry and Damian Lillard, who else is shooting like from Steph Curry?
Trey Young, Levine, LeBron's even doing it 2 or 3 times a game now. Yes, the fuck Levine is. He just had a 50-point game that was floating around fucking Twitter where he was jacking the bitch from the logo.
He was not
from the logo. Thomas, stop it, bro.
Yes, the fuck. Look it up. Look it up. Yes, the fuck he did. Yes, he did. It was in the fucking fourth quarter. Yes, he did.
All right there, bro. It was from the 3-point line. It was not from Steph Curry range. It wasn't from Damian Lillard range.
He shot that motherfucker from deep as fuck. What you talking about?
Bro, Thomas, come on, bro.
This nigga is trolling, bro.
Fucking LeBron even does it. The fuck? And LeBron ain't even a shooter.
And the crazy
do y'all realize LeBron played his whole career known as a terrible shooter, and because somebody made fun of him, he said, "I'm going to practice shooting this." That's all it fucking took was practice. And guess what? Now JJ Redick is on the stage saying, "LeBron, we want you to shoot more because you shot a high clip of threes." All he did was practice. It didn't fucking take no miracle. He didn't take all this bullshit y'all saying. All he did was somebody saying, "LeBron, you don't shoot on threes. You're a terrible 3-point shooter." He went in the gym, and all he did was practice. The same dude who said they couldn't shoot for 20 years, all he did was put in a little bit of effort. That's all it took, and that's what the fuck I'm telling y'all.
I wonder if people realize that he's really not that efficient with that shot, and he only takes it like at most 2 times a game.
He just shot a good clip last year, and JJ Redick was bragging about it, saying, "We're going to ask you to do it more this year." Because you shot such a good percentage of
that, and if he asked him to do it more this year, I promise you. No, actually, he didn't shoot that efficient. It was like 34%. But
no, he was efficient. He
shot
34%. He shot 34% this past 2 years.
Yeah.
You're trying to camouflage a year in to cover up your ass for lying. He shot a better percentage this year. JJ Redick was bragging about that shit and said, "We're going to ask you to do it more because all you did." I don't know what the percentage was.
It was 40% on 5.
Yeah, see, Kaz, you a fucking dumbass. You just be lying for clout. Just shut the fuck up.
Thomas, we ain't doing that.
He shot. No, because he's fucking lying. He came in a conversation and he said, "I didn't hear you say that." No shit. Because you come in the middle of a conversation trying to talk about what you want to talk about, not even knowing what the fuck I said. That's dumb as fuck. That's like me jumping in another conversation that y'all having, and I come in the middle of the bitch and I say, "No, wait a minute. We're only going to talk about this right here because this is what I heard." No, that's not how it works. And what I said was,
wait, Thomas, we was already off. We was already off that topic before he came.
Andre, what we did.
Wait, hold on, Thomas.
Are you saying he shot 40% from 3, or are you saying he shot 40% from Stephen Curry range?
From 3, I think. Yeah, 40.
Oh, from 3.
No, from 3. From 3. Oh no, no. I'm saying he takes out of those 5. I'm saying out of those 5 threes, he took at most. I think it's like 1.3 or 1.4. So he would take at most 2 a game from Stephen Curry.
That doesn't matter. Steph don't shoot them from logo all the time either. He shoots them up close too. The point is, if you're stop trying to be a smart ass, the point is, all it took was somebody to tell LeBron that you cannot do this because you've never been there. That's exactly what y'all saying about these other players. They will never do this because they've never been there, which is cap. If all it takes is LeBron to put in a little bit of effort and practice, That motherfucker don't go and practice to shoot 100, 200 threes like a real three-point shooter. Those shooters back then would practice running around. They would practice dribbling. They would practice all the shit that you're saying they can't do. And LeBron is living proof of it. And not only is that, I gave y'all one better. I said I think Giannis would benefit back in that era. So therefore, he could take his game and change it to that era and still be effective because I'm not biased to either era. I watched LeBron start shooting threes at a much higher clip than he ever did in his whole motherfucking life, all because one or two people said he can't shoot. And he said, okay, you think I can't shoot? Let me practice. All it took was practice. That's all I'm fucking telling you. If he can make his shot better in a fucking a 2-3 year span, and these guys grow up as kids. If Steve Kerr is born as a kid in 2002, and by the time he gets to 2024, he's going to be taught to already do what these guys are doing. So, yes, he would be doing that. Now, he wouldn't be – I'm not saying he'd be Steph Curry. That's not what I'm saying. And that's not – that was never the topic. Andre, the topic was if you stand up and use your backbone sometimes and stop just sitting over there being quiet, the topic was I told Andre from the get-go, I said, let me make sure before I say this that we cannot move players from different eras, which is what Caswell tried to fit in his argument, and I agree with. But I've already said that, but he didn't hear me say that because he wasn't here from the word go. I agree. You can't just pick them up and move them. I agree with Caswell again. It's a stupid conversation. That's why I said, Andre, we can't say this team will do this, this, and this, and not say this team won't change and do this, this, and this, because that's a dumb argument, which Caswell said it is a dumb argument. I agree. You can't move eras because people play different. They are coached different. Chuck Daly wouldn't dare coach Steph Curry the way motherfucking Golden State is coached. Curry wouldn't be allowed to jack threes deep.
He
wouldn't be allowed to do that back in the day.
You can move.
No. That's what I'm saying. I move Giannis for you.
Statistically, you can move eras, but you can't change their style for those eras because then it goes into hypothetical range. If you want to talk about, well,
no, you're not changing their style. He don't have that style. He's not coached that way.
If you want to talk about,
if you're not coached, there is no style.
If you want to talk about how Larry Bird and Ray Allen can be able to translate to this era and be able to shoot nearly as efficient on double the volume, there's literally a metric for you to be able to do that, to be able to showcase factual evidence and translate.
But it's called the NBA rule book. But it's not called Thomas's opinion. It's called the NBA rule book that allows that. The rule book allows that. That's what you not acknowledged.
But you made the argument. But I was actually here for you to I was here to actually hear you say it. You said that Larry Bird and Ray Allen could shoot from Stephen Curry range. You said yes, the fuck they would.
Yeah, you did.
Yes,
say that.
and they absolutely would.
Okay,
and they absolutely would.
That's a hypothetical because they didn't do it in their era.
Okay. What's a hypothetical to say Curry do this and that era? Then same shit. So kill your own argument with your own shit.
You can literally adjust the metrics to fit his game into that era. He would still be fantastic. You can literally adjust Larry Bird. Literally an advanced metric for you to do that.
Larry Bird had a post-up game that Curry didn't have. And so if he went in the post and started flopping for 15 three-points a game, he would average 40 in the fucking league then. Okay, do that then.
That's
you can't say this dude.
Larry Bird is 6'9". You comparing somebody 6'9" to somebody 6'3"?
No. We're talking about three-point shooters. This three-point shooter had more to his game than shoot threes. That's what I'm telling you. Larry Bird could use the post-up game and use the Trae Young, Harden, Dame, that flopping masterpiece shit they used to do. He could take that and put it in his game today, and he'd go from averaging 30 to averaging 40. Because he went.
Then that's where you start building hypotheticals.
Yeah, that's what y'all doing.
If you would have just,
that's exactly what y'all doing.
If you would have just,
that's what I'm telling you.
If you would have just left it at Larry Bird has a post game, Stephen Curry doesn't, so he could be able to come into this era and be able to down. That is factual evidence because he factually has a post game. He was an efficient post player in the high post in the 80s.
But he didn't have the flops in the 80s. He could flop for 15 free throws.
That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant because he was still
that is relevant because that's factual evidence of what happens in the game.
He was still one of the most efficient.
But you don't want to admit that because then you're going to have to make Larry Bird a better scorer than Curry.
Let him get it all.
He was still one of the most efficient post scorers in his era, let alone at his position. So if nothing else translated to this era, that would definitely translate. So I agree with you there, and there's factual evidence there where it becomes a hypothetical is when you start bringing, and then he gonna do what the Dame and the Hardens do, and he gonna start flopping, and now he gonna get to the free throw line and he gonna convert it, all of that. Like there's no factual evidence for that. That's a hypothetical. You're basically just having him come
it's
to
a
this
hypothetical that you think he can't do it. It's the same hypothetical. You can't assume that he can't do it just because you fucking said so.
Because he didn't do it in his era. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying based off of the factual evidence.
But see, you are discrediting Hall of Famers who have killer instinct. Larry Bird, if you put Larry Bird in this fucking era and act like he ain't going to fucking shoot the ball from deep after he watches everybody else shoot it from deep, okay, LeBron James is a living example of a Larry Bird doing that. I just gave you this example for a fucking reason, but y'all don't want to hear it because you can't wrap your fucking mind around it. LeBron couldn't shoot. They said he couldn't shoot, so he practiced. Now he shot 40% and you lied on him, Casual. You didn't even know what the fuck you was talking about. You lied on the fucking dude. Andre had to correct you. You see what I'm saying? You ducking from the facts. The point is, if LeBron
Curry range, which is 30 plus feet. You were talking about at the 3-point line. The 3-point line alone, yes.
Okay. So just because I watched Jordan take off at the free throw line, I'm supposed to go the rest of my life and say nobody can ever take off at the free throw line? That would be stupid, Casual. Because the people will do that at some point.
Come on. Yeah.
Nobody.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point. But the point is to act like somebody else can't do it. It's bullshit. LeBron James, nowhere near.
We didn't see Larry.
No. LeBron James.
Hold on. You just proved my
LeBron James could not shoot the ball.
He just proved my point.
LeBron James could not shoot the ball.
He just proved my point. He just proved that point. Because he just sat there. Because he just sat there. He just sat there and he said that Michael Jordan, if he was in if Michael Jordan is jumping from the free throw line, that now all of a sudden we can't. I think he said something along the lines of now because he did that, we can't say that anybody else could do that. No, we can't say that anybody else can do that. No, that's not what I said. Because so you can't understand it. No. That's exactly what you said.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
That's exactly what you said. You said that just because Michael Jordan jumped from the free throw line, now all of a sudden we can't say that anybody else can jump from it. No, we can't say that because somebody else, there's multiple people throughout history, Vince Carter, Blake Griffin, there's multiple examples of players that have been able to do that. So we actually factually can say that somebody else, that there's multiple people that can be able to do what Michael Jordan did that won him the dunk contest.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said once I saw him do it.
We have
That's
never
not what I said.
seen.
That's not what I said. You lying. That's not what I said. What I said was when I said. See, you don't know how to understand English. You don't know how to listen. I said when I saw Jordan live in person. Well, when I say live, I wasn't at the arena. I'm saying when I saw it live on TV, right?
On TV.
Make sure on the TV. When I saw it, I have to make sure I say elementary shit for you to understand because you got elementary listening skills.
I mean,
no, you didn't correct me because you didn't hear what I said the first time. You lied about what I said. What I said was when I saw Jordan take off from the free throw line, okay, that's equivalent. When I saw that, it's equivalent when you saw Curry shooting the ball deep. I cannot sit there just because I saw it in my eyes, right? Not knowing Zach LaVine was ever going to do it. I never knew he was going to do it, but I would be stupid, like you're sounding, to say back then, when just because I saw Jordan do it, that nobody else could ever do it. I can't say that with a straight face because that is fucking blasphemy. That is called idiotic. That is called living in your era. Just because it's in your era, you want to act like nobody else could ever do it, right? You cannot do that shit. That's what I'm telling you about Curry. Just because you saw Curry do it in your time does not mean that you can say nobody else can ever do it. Just like when I saw Jordan do it, I saw Dr. J try it. Jordan took off deeper. But for me to say, I've never seen nobody take off as deep as Jordan. Therefore, nobody's ever going to do it. I can't go back in time, right? It don't matter. That's my point.
Even if you did not see Zach LaVine or Aaron Gordon do it yet, you absolutely can say that nobody's ever going to do this. Actually, there's people in articles that said that nobody's going to be able to do what Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan did. It wasn't until fast forward to,
and that's called stupid.
That's fine. That's fine. That's your opinion. But factually, that was the actual factual evidence. Nobody had did what they did before. So you could say that you never were going to see that again, and it have some validity, even though it's feeling. And then when it actually happened,
yes, they have seen it. Dr. J had already done it.
And then when
Dr. J already took off from the free throw line. Jordan just did it 2 inches or 3 inches behind where he did. So yes, you got caught line again. Yes, he already did it. The point is,
even in your statement, you just admitted that he did something that Dr. J didn't do, because Dr. J did it and he did it 3-4 inches behind where he did it. So you even just admitted that he did something that Dr. J had never been done.
That's my point.
You just admitted it.
That's the point. So if Curry shoots 35 feet deep and I shoot 34.5 feet deep, that don't mean I can't shoot 35. That just means my fucking toe placement was different. We still shot the ball deep from the same fucking area. From the same fucking place. Just because it's a couple inches different, don't mean a fucking thing. That's called that you're trying to be biased for your dude. And the
other weird part about this whole thing. Another weird part about this whole thing is you're comparing two different situations. You're comparing what Michael Jordan did and then saying that you couldn't look into the future to see it. We're comparing people that their career has already played out versus a player that is in the future. So we're comparing the future to the past, and you're trying to compare to the past to the future. That's not the same thing.
You just compared the fucking Oscar Robertson to Steph Curry. You did. That's the whole point. The point is, if we watch LeBron James shoot logo shots,
I compared the future to the past.
You compare both of them. That's the thing. You can't go back in time.
If Oscar Robertson went to the future, I didn't say that.
Yeah. You can't take the future and go to the past, and you can't take the past and go to the future. You can't do neither fucking one. You can't just do one you want to do because you want to do it. It don't work that way, sir. Here's the thing: if we watch LeBron James,
more factual evidence for the things that
no, there's not. No, there's not.
That's what I'm saying.
Watch LeBron. No, there's not. We watched LeBron James, a piss poor shooter, learn just over fucking night to start shooting logo threes. We watched a piss poor shooter do that. And we're going to sit there and say that Larry Bird or Ray Allen or Dale Curry or Reggie Miller,
LeBron isn't.
You watched a piss poor shooter.
What are you
talking about? Exactly. We're talking about, that's my whole point. We're talking about prime time shooters. If LeBron can do it and be decent at it, why in the fuck can't a prime time shooter do it and be great at it if we watch him do it?
Because he's not that good.
That's my whole point.
It's because
because he's not a shooter. He's not a shooter. He's not a shooter. They are shooters.
But
they are shooters. So if we watch LeBron do it, that's not the point, Castle. The point is you can adjust your game. I don't give a fuck about does he do it like Curry. That's irrelevant, dummy. That's irrelevant. The point is he adjusted his game when somebody said he couldn't do it. And he's a terrible shooter. So if a terrible shooter can do it, you would sound like a motherfucking moron to say an elite primetime shooter could not do it. That's fucking blasphemy. That's dumb as fuck. That's ignorant.
We're saying they won't be as effective as Stephen Curry doing it.
Right.
That's all we're saying.
That's okay. No, that don't matter. That's not the point. The point is.
All right. We're done. We already admitted. You just admitted it.
The point is these primetime shooters will step back and shoot at a high clip because they're elite fucking shooters. It don't matter if LeBron can't get up to Curry's level because LeBron ain't gifted to do it. They are gifted to do it. That's the difference.
Thomas, you just moved the goalpost like 2 million
15 times I counted.
No, y'all trying to act like a dude didn't practice shooting and got better at it. Y'all try to act like it never happened. And that is called moving the goalpost because we just watched it happen.
and I'm telling you, what you are saying happened was actually did it happen? Did he actually shoot from Stephen Curry range? Which is just for clarification, chat. Stephen Curry range is 33 feet. It's 33 feet plus. That's Stephen Curry range, which, to be honest with you, is really not Stephen Curry's range. It's really Damian Lillard's range, but I guess. And even further than that, you're saying that LeBron James started to shoot from that range. Okay, fine. He is shooting there, but he's not as efficient as you're making it out to be. And then you're saying Ray Allen and Larry Bird can do it. And then you saying that Ray Allen and Larry Bird can do it. Yes, they can do it. Yes, they could do it. Luka Doncic is doing it. Donovan Mitchell's doing it. Klay Thompson started to do it over the last 2 years.
So can they do it?
Can they do it?
That's irrelevant.
But they won't be. Can they do
it? Sure, that means nothing to do with what we're talking about.
They won't.
That's not the point. The point
is Stephen Curry doing it.
That doesn't matter.
That's the point.
That's your point. The point that we were talking about was when you go back in the 80s, 70s, and 60s, you're not doing that because it's not coached. That's the actual point. Your point is just worried about efficiency. But that's not the point.
Like we said earlier, to that point, just because Stephen Curry wouldn't be able to shoot from that range because that was frowned upon at that time, there's still
that's all we ever said.
There's still other parts of his game that would make him just as impactful.
As effective.
Just as effective.
Yeah, nobody ever said the dude wouldn't score the ball.
All right. So let
me say this real quick.
You still ain't addressed my point. My point was in the beginning. Hold on, Andre. He still ain't. Yeah, he spent 2 hours and still ain't even hit the main point yet. That's how fucking slow he is. The point was Curry's gameplay, not his efficiency. That's irrelevant. That was stupid to even bring that up. His gameplay, his shooting the ball that deep on the court. And Andre, I didn't just bring up Curry. He's in his feelings about Curry. I brought a Dame. I brought a Trey. I brought a Levine. I brought up a lot of people who shoot the ball from a place. The point was the placement.
Zach Levine does not shoot that deep. What is he talking about?
Yes, he did. He had a 50-point game where he shot the bitch deep as fuck. But here's the point.
I guess everybody having 50-point games, they shoot the deepest.
No, it's on video. All you gotta do is go watch.
Hold on, Tom. Let me say this real quick.
No.
So there was a player in the 90s, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who I just looked up, who was attempting 11 threes, 8 threes, 14 threes, 7 threes, 9 threes, 11 threes. So there was a player in the 90s who was playing just as Steph Curry, but guess what? He was not as effective and as efficient as Stephen Curry.
My point was, let me say this real slow for y'all. The point was not how many points he averaged, Andre. That's stupid as fuck to bring that up.
I didn't bring up points. Thomas, I didn't bring up points. I brought up the number of 3-pointers attempted in the 90s, and he attempted 5 a game in that season. But I brought up the amount of attempts, and I see 14 threes attempted. I see 11 threes attempted. I see 10 threes attempted. That's what I said, bro.
That's still not the point. Y'all don't want to hear the point because you feel stupid.
Wait, what's the point?
The point was not could Curry score the ball, not could Curry shoot the ball, not would Curry shoot 3. That wasn't the point. The point was the gameplay of shooting 35-footers was not in that era. They didn't do that back then. Nobody said the dude wouldn't be effective and score the fucking ball. Yeah, y'all just took 2 hours to talk about nothing that I said. All I said was, Andre, before, and this is before Cavs we became on, me and you was having a conversation. I said, Andre, I don't like to compare eras because the games and the way the game is played is different, right? I said, let's use Curry as an example. And I also said in that same sentence, not to bash Curry. So therefore, let's talk about Trey. And I named a whole bunch of people, right? This is not to talk about Curry's 3-point efficiency. That is irrelevant to the conversation. The conversation, what I was saying was, Andre, I don't like to compare the eras because the way the game was coached, the way the NBA rulebook was set in place, it's different. Just like y'all are going to take offense in 2060 when somebody tries to say those guys It's a different era in 2006. They're going to have a whole different rule book than what we're watching right now, which is to give Casual some credit, even though he didn't want to listen to nothing. To give him some credit. It's stupid to compare. I agree, it's stupid to compare eras. We never should have been comparing eras. That was y'all's argument. What I was saying was the way Curry shoots the ball from so deep. All I was saying was the coaches and the mindset of the game back then was not to shoot the ball so deep. Therefore, you don't stretch the floor. That don't mean Curry won't be good. That's not what the fuck I said. I was talking about the shot placement, where you shot it from. Back then, you got benched if you tried that shit. You might have shot one and got away with it, but to go in the game and shoot 10 of them bitches from deep like Dame and just jack up threes, you didn't do that way back. When I say threes, let me break it down elementary so y'all listen. I'm talking about deep threes. The logo shit.
Steph Curry's not attempting 14 logo threes a game. He's not doing that.
No, I didn't say that either. It's not what I said. I did not say he shot 14. Man, are y'all listening to fucking English? What I'm saying is,
can I ask you a question, Thomas? Can I ask you a question?
What I'm saying is,
I just want to get clear.
How deep you shoot it. That wasn't coached up back then. You wasn't allowed to do that. You remember, I'm 47 years old. I'm from that era. I know how the game was coached, right? I know how the coaches' mindsets, but back then, how they did shit, how they taught shit.
Hold on,
it was a whole different way of coaching. It's just like right now. John Daly is not going to come up here and just all of a sudden be coaching a fucking 35-foot threes. That's the same reason that the Greg Popovich is outdated. He's outdated because of his coaching style, which was different than what we're watching right now. That's why he's outdated. It's nothing. There's not a knock on Stephen Curry. It's nobody saying he can't score the balls. Nobody's saying he can't score 25. Nobody said he can't score 30. That's not what the fuck I said. What I said was, as far as the dream team goes and the game goes, because see, Casual, you came in so late to the conversation, you don't even know what the conversation was. The conversation was about the dream teams, about the U.S. team. And I said, Andre, it's not fair to talk about those because Andre's point, Casual, was, oh, well, this team will win just because they shoot more threes. No, that's not the case. The game is taught different now than it was taught then. The only one way to find out who's going to beat who is to get on the fucking court and do it, right? Because Kobe is from a different era. Kobe said Harden will never win a championship. Well, I think it's a pretty decent argument, not guaranteed, but it's a pretty decent argument, Casual, Andre, that if Chris Paul don't get hurt, Harden probably has a championship, and Kobe might be eating his word. RIP to the Black Mama, top 5 player in the game in the history. He's a legend. But what Kobe said would not translate, and it might still happen, Andre. Because if Kawhi Leonard ever gets healthy in the playoffs and Harden's on that fucking team, they have a shot at winning the championship because Kawhi Leonard, right? So, and Harden is going to be a big integral piece of it, right? But if Chris Paul don't get hurt, again, I know this is assumption, but it's assumption to say the Rockets will lose. It's assumption to say the Rockets will win. All we do know, since we want to speak facts, all we do know is the Rockets was up 3-2 and getting ready to go to the NBA Finals. So even if he lost the finals, the fact he made it to the finals means that Kobe was almost 100% wrong. We'll call it 90% wrong. Because if Harden made it to the finals, then that proves that Harden's game plan worked. And it also proves that Western Conference Finals actually kind of makes Kobe a little bit wrong as well. Because if Kobe was so right, Harden would never, ever been one win from an NBA Finals with his gameplay. So therefore, Andre, to speak on the Dream Team and the USA team, like I said in the beginning, it's not fair to compare eras. But when we start bashing people saying that, well, this player wouldn't do this and this player wouldn't do that, the game was coached differently. John Stockton was a great three-point shooter. If they allowed this man to shoot more threes, which they would in today's era, who's to say he wouldn't do this, right? And if we forced Curry to go into a 1980s paint where they have bigger and tougher guys to do it, nobody said he can't do it, but you have to use the same mindset. Who's to say he would do it? That's all I was ever fucking saying. Curry's gameplay, shooting the ball that deep would not be. You would not be allowed to do that back in the 80s. That's all my fucking point ever was.
Bro, you moved the goalpost, but it's fine, man.
I didn't move the goalpost.
No, you did.
So let me
I brought up attempts, and I showed you a player in the 90s attempting 14 threes, 11 threes, 12 threes, 13 threes, and you didn't even address it, and you just said,
no, because that's not the point.
Come on, bro.
I'm agreeing with you on that. No, it's not. My point was you wasn't shooting the ball deep, that deep like that. My point wasn't you wasn't
not shooting the ball deep every single time. He's not shooting the ball deep every single time. I
didn't say he was. What I was using was an example of how the game was coached. That's all my point ever was, brother. My point wasn't how many times he did it. My point wasn't the percentage he did it. The point is the game is coached differently with a different mindset. Even with Mahmoud Roof, whatever you say his name.
Hold on. I think Casual got a question. What's the question, Casual?
I'm trying to remember because this nigga just went on a whole damn tangent. Hold on, give me a second. Let me think about it. Keep going, Thomas. I know you got more. You got more to go.
No, I mean, I just think it's just goalpost moving, and I brought up a player who was playing the same way that Stephen Curry. We see him play, and
he was not shooting the ball deep like that. That is a lie.
Oh, now I remember what my question was. Okay,
all right, go ahead, Casual.
Okay, so with you are standing firm on you only brought up Stephen Curry. Going to the league for what?
I didn't even bring up Curry. I brought up a whole list. You picked out Curry.
Okay. This entire list. Why? What was the premise?
The premise was I was using an example of how the game is coached different, because what Andre was trying to say was this team would only win because they shot more threes, right? But if you want to use that example, what I was saying was, okay, if you want to use that piss poor example, then I could say this team right here couldn't stop the dominant paint bigs back then, right? So, but I'm not going to stoop to that level because now I'm disrespecting fucking this era, which I agree with you guys. At the end of the fucking day, you can't move eras because you have to move mindsets. You have to move the NBA rule book as well. I also brought up, since you want to come into the conversation late, Casual, I also brought up how people are allowed to do step back, hop back, side step. That shit is traveling back in the day. That's traveling.
Agreed.
That's not true. Penny Hardaway was doing that same shit. That hop step travel that you talking about, Penny Hardaway was doing it in the 90s. So there wasn't calling no travels on that.
Yeah, but I mean,
Penny was not taking 5 steps back. No, he wasn't.
We understand Penny was an anomaly. It would be
and Penny was not taking the James Harden.
To be
James Harden created a step back shot, Andre. That is a fucking not to y'all. Hold on, Casual. The step back side step, the shit James Harden was doing, my brother. It don't matter what you like, Andre. It don't matter what you like, Casual. Don't matter what I like. What matters is facts. The facts are the shit that Harden invented that everybody else started abusing would not have been flying back then because of the rule book, not because of Thomas, brother, not because of Casual. I like y'all. Y'all cool. It's not about y'all or me. It's about the rule book itself, right? And in 2050, like I said, those guys are gonna be doing shit, and they're gonna be trying to roast Casual and Andre, and I might be dead and gone by then. And I hope y'all blow y'all shits out and say, "Hey, time out now. The rule book was different. Your fucking guy was my guy, Steph Curry, and my eras and Trae Young's. We wasn't allowed to get away with the shit y'all getting away with in 2060, right? Yeah, that's all I'm fucking saying. The shit that like the Euro step. Manu Ginobili had a Euro step that was far less traveling than the shit we were watching right now. So if we go to comparing points per game, these guys are going to average more because they're allowed to do more because of the rule book, not because of Casual, not because of Thomas, not because of Andre, because of the rule book. That Penny Hardaway step back was nowhere near as many fucking steps, brother, as this James Harden created step back. That's all I'm fucking saying. And the flopping shit. Casual, you sound like you know old school basketball, and that's what I appreciate about you, is at least you can name me names when you go to make a point. Whether we agree or not, you know the fucking names just like I know the names, and I like that shit. But what the point is,
I don't You trying to tell me I don't?
No. I'm not saying. I'm not.
All right.
I'm not saying that, Andre.
I'm just playing. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is the shit they get away with, right? Like Wilt Chamberlain, for instance. If Wilt Chamberlain, no, let's use Joel Embiid. Let's use Casual's mindset. Casual say he wants to go back in time. Okay, listen. If we could take, I'm being dead serious. No, I'm being dead serious. Listen, if you took Joel Embiid, right?
Right.
Casual, you know the old school players, and Casual, you're going to agree with me on this. If you took Joel Embiid and we put him in Wilt Chamberlain's era, it would be a dumbass, idiotic, moronic statement for me to sit here and say, I watched Joel Embiid average. I'm just guessing. Don't get all technical. 25 and 12. If I sit here and watch him average 25 and 12, and he has to be out of the paint, for me to sit here and say he could go back to fucking Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain and average 30 points and 25 rebounds just like Wilt Chamberlain did, and the reason I say he can do that is not because of physicality, because of the rule book. If Embiid was allowed to hang out in the paint, Casual, just a yes or no question, if he was able to stand in the paint for 10 hours a night, would he average 30 points and 25 rebounds?
Yes or no? He'd easily be one of the best rim protectors we've ever seen.
Yeah. I'm talking about his stats though.
All day, shit.
As far as like his scoring numbers,
right? Just his average.
I think
his average.
Wait, are you saying if he couldn't? You saying if he wasn't allowed to shoot?
No. That's not what I'm saying, guys. Listen.
Yeah, I'm trying to get what you're saying. I'm listening.
Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and those guys back then, right? They was allowed. They wasn't very strict at all, Casual, on the 3 seconds in the paint. You can stand,
okay.
You can stand in that.
They didn't have
paint.
a 3 seconds. They didn't have a 3 seconds in the 60s. They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. They weren't restricted in the paint. They could sit in there all day long.
So when I say I want to speak unbiased, right? I will sit here and dare agree. Joel Embiid, probably the Joker too. Some of these centers could go better. If he was allowed to just stand in the paint and never have to get out, I could probably half-ass argue he would average 30 and 25. Now I know he's not a scorer, but remember it's the error. Remember it's the error. All they did back then, Casual. I don't know if you ever watched the video. Casual. All they did was throw the ball up real high, like you know how you do jump balls in the end zone in the NFL. They would do that to Wilt Chamberlain. They just threw it up high because he was playing against an NBA league average of guys like fucking 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So if I took Embiid and put him back in that era,
he would average 30 and 15. I don't think he's the rebounder.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, right.
But I think 30
he gets 10, 15 rebounds now, don't he? What's the average now?
He averaged like 10,
11 rebounds. Yeah.
10,
okay. So he averages 11 rebounds and he has to get out the paint all the time.
Yeah,
but you realize he would average like 20, 25 rebounds. And you remember, Casual, he never has to move. And he's the biggest player on the court. All he has to do is stand there.
Embiid doesn't really fight on the glass like a Joker.
That's what I'm saying. That's the problem when it comes to Joel Embiid is the rebounding. He's not really going for the rebounds as much as the rebounds is coming at him. And especially
right. But he's playing people. But remember, what if he's playing people that are the Draymond Green size, and all he gets to do is stay in the paint? You don't think he averaged 25 rebounds?
That's why I said he'll average like 15. Well, also
you said 15. Right.
Also,
right.
Also, I do believe that. If we're trying to actually have Joel Embiid maximized in that era, he would probably be more of the Bob Pettit type when it comes to rebounding. As far as he's not really looking to rebound, he's more looking to get ahead. The Bob Pettit, Dolph Schayes type archetype of just transition. He leads the transition, but somebody else gets the board.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But that's not. You're talking about the Joel Embiid you see now. Remember again, like I said, bringing players back. If we bringing players up, if we bring Joel Embiid back, he's not the same player as he is right now. He is going to be taught to.
That's the point. That's the point where you and I disconnect because I'm fine with you making these assessments off of the player that they are, off of the evidence that they've shown you. Statistically, you can be able to adjust it to sort of come up with some type of idea of what they could do. No, I'm not saying.
I'm talking about the way the coach would make him play.
Everything you said up to now, I can rock with. the talking about his play style, talking about the rules and the opponents that he would be going against being undersized. I can rock with those type of conversations. When you get to talking about him going to that era and getting time to adjust, I'm out of that. I'm sorry, I'm out of that because I don't like doing those levels of hypotheticals. I don't like doing.
No. It's not about him adjusting because you got to remember he would have been raised in that era. So you wouldn't. What I'm saying is a physical attribute. A 7-foot giant, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about how he plays the game. I'm talking about how the game is coached. Remember, if Joel Embiid is born in 1930 and he gets in the NBA in 1955, he's going to have a whole different style of gameplay than what y'all see right now. Mm-hmm. But he's going to be taught to stand in the paint at 7 feet tall. So therefore,
my fucking nerves, bro.
So therefore, he is going to be playing the game how Will played the game. He's not going to be playing the game how 2024 NBA plays the game. That's my whole point. It's the mindset of the way the game was coached. It has nothing to do with his skill. That's not the point.
You see what I'm saying, though, right, Andre?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Thomas, I get what you're saying. I
see what Kaz was saying. Thomas, but Kaz was talking about the Joel Embiid right now. That's not the point. I'm talking about a 7-foot tall player who is coached differently than he's coached right now. That's all I'm saying. Kaz will keep trying to say, well, he's a perimeter player or he's going to do this. No. He's not going to be taught that way back then. He's going to be taught to stand in the paint all night long because there is no NBA rule book for him to move. Therefore, he's never going to be shooting a lot of jumpers and wasting his talent, Casual. He's going to be forced to stand in the paint because that's how they coach the game. It doesn't matter what he does right now.
Let me go back to the actual thing that I was saying. Why I picked the 2024 USA team. Now I picked them over the Dream Team because the Dream Team have players that are not going to be efficient shooting the 3 ball. If you pack the paint and you have to force them to shoot jumpers, because remember, because of illegal defense, you have to play guys 1-on-1, and you couldn't just pack the paint and just force guys to shoot threes. But if you can do that in this era and force those guys to shoot a lot of threes, they're not going to be efficient.
So you want to so you want to play by your rule book?
What you mean by my rule book? It's this era. We're in this era, right? Like what rule?
Okay. So let's be fair here then. Now okay, you got. Let's be fair here.
Okay.
You want to take your era and your NBA rule book and your way your guys coaches the game, and you want to play in your era. So you want the 92.
Let's talk about that era then. Let's go to that era then. I mean, in illegal defense, in an illegal defensive system, LeBron James with the rock. Who's stopping LeBron 1-on-1?
Scottie Pippen will be on LeBron.
All right, bro.
Thomas, come on, man. You can't be serious saying this shit, man. Come on.
Okay. So let me ask you this: we watched Kawhi Leonard lock LeBron up.
It wasn't 1-on-1 coverage. Stop it. It was zone. They were playing zone on them. Say all the truth. They were playing zone. They had secondary defenders right behind them. Hold on.
Greg Popovich was not playing no fucking zone. No, he wasn't, Andre. Stop it, man.
And LeBron still averaged 28. So what's your point?
He averaged 28 because he stat padding the shit. When Kawhi was on him, he couldn't do a fucking thing.
You see the goalpost. You see the goalpost.
He was inefficient.
He was inefficient. He shot 58%. He shot 58% from the field in this series. What do you mean he was inefficient?
When he didn't have Kawhi on him, he shot the ball.
When he didn't have Kawhi Leonard on him.
The point is because that's the fucking defender. That's who's guarding him. It's just like
if you're the primary defender. Hold on, Thomas. Hold on. If you're the primary defender and the guy you're responsible to guard is going off, it's your fault. That's why he's going off, right?
It's your fault if you own him. Yes.
Right.
Okay. So let's use Dallas Mavericks. Luka would run T-Man off of 900 fucking screens. 900. He wanted no parts of that shit. Now, he scored the ball when he wasn't on T-Man, my brother.
Bro.
When T-Man was on him, his numbers was god awful. Awful, Andre. This is the point. You asked me who's guarding LeBron. I told you Pippen's guarding LeBron. That's who's fucking guarding LeBron. So
I'm so done with this conversation because you keep moving the goalposts.
No, you answer question. You keep ducking. You keep ducking.
Anything. I use this rules. You talk about, you want to play by your rules. Now I go to the 90s rules and we're playing one-on-one basketball. One-on-one basketball. Nobody's stopping KD. Nobody's stopping LeBron. Nobody's stopping those guys. Even Kawhi Leonard, nobody's stopping a one-on-one.
That's cap. Kawhi's already stopped both of them. All right, so again,
you want to stop KD one-on-one.
Okay.
We're not doing
that. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He never
many
did.
times. Yes, he did many times.
When
LeBron calls for screen every time because he don't want to go one-on-one, Andre.
Everybody calls for screens. So you telling me Mike never called for a screen? Larry Bird never called for a screen? Magic Johnson never called for a screen?
No, it wasn't a pick and roll dominant play back then.
Yeah, but they still were running pick and roll.
They still were calling for screens, bro.
It wasn't nowhere near as frequent.
It wasn't as frequent, and they didn't hold the ball for 24 seconds and run off 900 screens with the ball in their hand. No, they did not. That's not how they played the game. Here's the other thing. So again, you want to stay on your side of the ball. Okay, what the fuck? Oh, you put Kevin Durant in the game. Okay, cool. Who the fuck is stopping Charles Barkley? Who's stopping Patrick Ewing? Who's stopping their fucking guys, Andre?
With a legal defense? Nobody. With a legal defense, nobody.
That's what I'm trying to ask with the legal defense or in this era.
That's what I'm saying. The Dream Team had better, more killer players. KD is not a fucking killer that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson was, brother. Stop it.
That's not.
No, he's not. KD is made fun of in this fucking era for being a pussy.
You talking about the Magic Johnson who has a playoff series on his record where he was in LA articles labeled Tragic Johnson? Are you talking about that Magic Johnson? You talking about
I'm talking about the same Magic Johnson.
I'm talking about the Larry Bird.
I'm talking about the same Magic Johnson. Yeah, tell the whole story. Tell the whole story. You want to dump Magic Johnson?
You talking about the
Magic Johnson?
The whole story is Magic.
The whole story is the motherfucker won 5 championships.
You want to talk about
it was the Finals MVP and the number 1 dude.
You want to talk about the Larry Bird who, the moment his point guard within his first 2 seasons retired, he had back-to-back seasons of playoff drop-off at a historic level, at an egregious level. You want to talk? You talking about that, Larry Bird?
Yeah. Do you want to tell why?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about he had a bad back and it was on the down slate?
This is before he even got a bad back. This is before he peaked. This is before Kevin McHale peaked. This is before Robert Parrish developed fully.
Oh, I thought you was talking about the dude.
I'm talking about 82 to 84.
82, 83. No, they want to chip in 84.
Okay, so do you want me to talk about the LeBron averaged fucking 17 points and scored 8 points in the finals game? If you want to cherry pick, we can all cherry pick.
That's fine, but let's be
let's be fair here.
Let's be fair here. And we gonna sit here and we gonna
I'm the only one that's been fair. Y'all was trying to play y'all fucking rules.
Nah, you're not being fair, Thomas, because you're talking about.
If we're gonna sit here and we're gonna degrade Kevin Durant's game for the flaws that he had in certain moments, let's bring up Larry Bird's flaws. Let's bring up Magic Johnson's flaws. Matter of fact, let's bring up Michael Jordan's flaws. Let's talk about them Detroit Pistons series. Let's talk about the Detroit Pistons series.
Okay. So let's talk about their whole. Let's talk about their whole careers. Let's talk about how Kevin Durant is nowhere near Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Let's talk about that.
That's fine. But you're talking about moments. You're talking about moments. We're talking about
careers. We're talking about careers. We're talking about careers.
For Kevin Durant.
KD can't lead nobody no fucking where. Nada.
I agree, actually. I agree, but I don't think Larry Bird can either, because the moment that
Larry Bird was the best player in the fucking league at the moment,
for a year or two, and I'll give him 2 at max. 86 and 87. Possibly. That's about it. Every other year, he needed a co-star that could be able to take on the bulk of the load on either the defensive end or on the playmaking end. He could score and shoot with the best of them. But the moment you asked him to be an entire offensive engine, he was not capable of doing so, especially in the playoffs. That's why it took Dennis Johnson coming to that roster for him to actually start to get back to his regular self. That's why it took Kevin McHale actually getting into fruition and peaking as to be honest with you, one of the greatest power forwards peaks we have ever seen for Larry Bird to get back to his self.
Okay. So where's Kevin Durant been?
What are you talking about? Where is he?
Kevin Durant can't lead no team. Larry Bird was the leader and de facto of the fucking team.
I don't disagree, but neither can Larry Bird.
So
Bird is not the person I'm turning to either.
Larry Bird had better teammates.
Andre's the one that brought it up. Y'all want to bring up something and run from the motherfucker. Larry Bird was a better player in the top. Okay, cool. He's beat. Magic Johnson's a better player at the point guard spot than what this team got. That guy's beat. George's better than LeBron. That guy's beat.
At that time, no. Curry
Magic Johnson is the best.
Magic was over in '92, bro.
Magic Johnson.
I mean, he wasn't over, but
he wasn't over, but he just won
the MVP. He just won the MVP in 1990. He was number 2 in the MVP in 91. What you mean?
We talking about 92. He was retired in 92. He just came back for the Dream Team.
Yeah, he just finished playing basketball at the end of 91 season. That's like only a couple months.
That's a year later.
It's a couple months.
No, it's a year later, nigga. What?
No, he just played basketball in 91. The season stops for like a couple months and they start another season.
But the 92 Dream Team, that's the summertime. That's what Casual's saying.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, this Steph Curry you watching right now is fucking trash. Boom. End of discussion.
He was better than what Magic Johnson was, though. That's the point.
No, the fuck he wasn't. Magic was a fucking
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Magic was leading, orchestrating a fucking prolific fucking offense at the point guard spot. Curry is over here wetting the fucking bed. Wetting the bed. Magic didn't wet the bed.
Magic had better teammates, right, than what Curry has on his team, right?
Oh, okay. So who's the better team? There you go.
So Magic was just on a better team, but he wasn't a better player than Stephen Curry. That's the point.
Magic on that team was better than the shit you're watching for Curry. And I wasn't even here to pick on Curry. You're the one that started your show talking about how trash he been. You called him out. I didn't even call the dude out.
I called him for his play in this game right here. So you trying to tell me that Magic Johnson didn't have a bad game in any of the games?
Curry ain't been doing shit this whole fucking. He's having the dude's got like 10 points, 15 points, 13 points. But stop it. We can't bring up prime Golden State Curry if you bring it up these teams in these years. Like you can't just choose what the hell you want to talk about.
Bro, you said I was going
Magic
off
Johnson
on Curry.
Was better.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't better than Curry at this point.
Curry ain't doing a fucking thing for this team. Has he even led the fucking team in scoring yet?
He has. He's led the league in scoring. What are you talking about?
No, we're talking about the Dream. We're talking about the USA team. The fuck?
Oh, you talking about the Dream Team? I mean, of course, there are better players on this team, just like Magic Johnson was not the best player on the Dream Team. So he's not going to lead them in scoring.
Right. He still was a better point guard doing his job than what Curry is doing.
He was a better facilitator. He was a better facilitator of the offense.
But not a better player.
That's his job.
Yeah, he's not a better player. He was not a better player.
I didn't say one thing about facilitating. I argued about play.
Yeah,
he was doing his job better than Curry is doing his job. Point blank period.
That can't possibly be true. There's a reason. If anything, between Stephen Curry and LeBron James, they are the main consistency that Team USA has had offensively this entire time. I'm talking exhibition.
No. Ant-Man led the team in scoring one time. Bam went the fuck off. Bam went the fuck off. Bam went the fuck off. KD goes the fuck off. These guys ain't even the best fucking players on their team.
Bam has not. No, they have not. No, he has not. Bam has not been. Bam has not been consistent.
Don't switch. You was talking about scoring.
Stop.
No. You was talking about scoring.
You're not listening.
No. You was talking about scoring, and Bam has had a great scoring game.
Nigga, I said offensively. I said offensively.
No, they ain't trying to jump on Bam's defense. We ain't talking about defense yet.
I didn't say nothing about his defense. I didn't say nothing about his defense. Nigga,
what Andre was talking about was scoring the USA, and you said to the USA team.
He said offensively. He said offensively. And I'm trying to explain to you. I'm trying to explain to you. Like,
it don't matter why he didn't do it. It don't matter what your excuse is.
Argue just to argue, nigga. Just listen.
Go ahead, bro.
Bro, when we're saying that Stephen Curry was the better player than Magic Johnson, and even with your argument of Magic's doing his job better than Curry's doing his job, that's not true, because even on that Team USA unit, between Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and even at some parts Charles Barkley, they were taking on the transition load, and they were a transition heavy team because their offense was their defense. So Magic Johnson couldn't have possibly been doing his job that well when they were doing his job for him. Versus
they wasn't doing his job for him. They had fast breaks is only part of the game here or there.
Versus Stephen Curry.
That's only part of the game here or there.
Versus Stephen Curry, who in his case, he has had to be the literal consistency offensively, along with LeBron James and Anthony Edwards.
No, he's not. There's been a lot of players.
Cutting me off when I get to this point. He keeps cutting me off when I get to this point.
You're lying. Stop fucking lying. Kane's been the best fucking scorer.
He brought up Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo, although being a great spark on the bench, has been defensively, has not been offensively. And then for Kevin Durant, who he brought up, that nigga just came back last game against Serbia. So where was he doing the exhibition? No, that was Curry and LeBron.
Curry was only putting up like 10, 12-point fucking games. He wasn't going to the
Olympics. It's the Olympics. It's only 40 minutes and you're playing with a talented roster.
Irrelevant. That's not my problem. It's excuses.
Name me the person on Team USA that has ever averaged 25 plus. I'll wait.
That's not the point. Curry also gets picked on defense, which is a liability to his fucking team. You ain't talking about that though.
Nigga, Magic Johnson couldn't get picked on because he was playing alongside some of the greatest defensive the players we have ever seen. David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan.
Y'all got Anthony Davis. You got Drew Holiday. You got Derrick White. You got all kinds of defenders over there.
Anthony Davis is coming off of the bench. Bam is coming off of the bench. Joel Embiid is on one leg and he's still limping from his injury he had during the regular season. LeBron James is the same defender that he used to be.
Coming off
like,
the
what
bench.
are we talking about here?
Then who they guarding? Okay, you're going to get killed then. Because who they guarding? You said your best defenders on the fucking bench. Your starting five is going to be down 30.
That's been our problem. That's the why Joel Embiid got put on the bench early on.
That's the whole point. They ain't touching anything. The fuck? That's the whole point.
Okay, but that's not on Curry. That's actually on Steve Kerr for not putting the.
I didn't say it's all Curry's fault. Okay, I just said Curry gets fucking picked on. That's all I said.
So when we tell you that Stephen Curry is the better player, when we tell you that Stephen Curry is the better player, all of these points you're bringing up, that's not about Stephen Curry. That's about the pieces around him not being for him.
That's not my problem. Curry has not been performing that fucking great. He just hasn't. Bottom line, point blank period. He hasn't. And he's a liability on defense. So therefore the nod goes to fucking Magic. That's not my problem, bro. The facts is the facts. And if you want to talk about your best defenders on the bench, y'all gonna be down 40 in the first fucking quarter because you can't stop none of my people. And guess what? We ain't even start talking about the bigs killing your motherfucking weak ass paint. Joel Embiid is getting fucking murdered by them bigs. The fuck?
Not by you.
Dude, yes, he is. He can't even fucking guard the motherfuckers now. He fucking sucks. He got
those are perimeter players.
And you said he was hurt.
If you pull Patrick Ewing to the perimeter, he's not doing shit. If you pull David Robinson to the perimeter, he ain't doing shit with these perimeter players that Joel Embiid got to go up against. So those guys are rim protectors. They're not perimeter defenders.
Right, and you said the dude's hurt.
And again, the offensive and defensive philosophy that they're seeing in this version of the Olympics is not the same. It's not the same ideology that they had in '92.
That's true.
We got elite defenders. We locking up any of these bum ass motherfuckers.
Y'all didn't have floor space. Y'all didn't have to worry about floor space.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I'm the coach, this team, I play box and one. You know what I'm saying? We zone up on all the team. We play boxing one on Michael Jordan. They're not doing shit. And that's my philosophy. That's what I'm sticking to. Or sometimes I'm gonna just switch it up, play triangle and two on Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley, and they ain't doing shit because I know they're not gonna make threes. And I'm gonna make sure that I overload the strong side so it's not no direct entry pass into Patrick Ewing or David Robinson.
Who's guarding David Robinson? Who's guarding Charles Barkley? Who's guarding fucking Patrick Ewing? You can't stop nobody. You're fucking.
Did you not just hear what I said? Come on, Thomas. Did you not hear what I just said?
I just heard you say stop trying to mute me on the low so people can just think I'm just being quiet and get cool. You ain't. Yes, you are. I'm sitting here watching it. I'm sitting here watching. Y'all can't.
Because you try to play dumb.
Because you're lying.
I'm not lying.
No, y'all, we got elite defenders. Y'all motherfuckers just said you had good defenders. So we're going to fucking cook y'all.
In 1992, Team USA went up against Croatia, whose star player was Drazen Petrovic. They took a combined 17 threes. This is Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
Team USA just went up against South Sudan. They took 37 threes.
Okay. It's a different era. Yeah, it's a different game.
Okay, so our defensive focus isn't the same as you guys. So you saying that our defenders aren't that good? No, we have more. We have more that we have to focus on than you guys. You guys could focus on packing the paint and getting in the passing lanes. We have to focus on getting in the passing lanes. Against Serbia, we had to worry about packing the paint, and they took 39 threes. And so we also had to worry about going out there. And even Joel Embiid was struggling with dealing with space. Patrick Ewing and David Robinson didn't have to worry about getting into space because there wasn't no floor spacing big that forced them to go out there. Jokic literally played.
David Robinson will be on the perimeter in these motherfuckers.
Seconds.
David Robinson will be on the floor locking up a lot of these motherfuckers. That dude is a fucking physical specimen.
No, he ain't.
No, he ain't. Not playing space.
And you want to put some perimeters out there? Okay, we'll try out fucking Drexler, Pippen, Jordan.
You thinking Drexler can't go left? You think Drexler can't go left? Don't know what a left hand is. Go ahead.
So left hand got nothing to do with defense. I thought we were talking about defense. Now you ducking over here. What you doing?
So now, hold on. So now, Clyde Drexler.
Drexler didn't have a left hand. Drexler didn't have a left hand, but the Finals MVP just led the fucking playoffs and turnovers because of his left fucking hand. Fuck out of here.
You mentioned
that was the year before. No, that was the year before.
He still fucking sucks doing it. The fuck.
That was the year before. Don't do that.
He still fucking sucks.
Hey, pause, humble. Pause that shit.
He still fucking sucks. His left hand ain't fucking changed.
Jaylen Brown sucks.
With his left hand, yeah.
I thought you said Jaylen Brown's the best player on the Boston Celtics.
He was the best player in the playoffs for them. That don't mean nothing.
But how he suck and now he's the best player? It's like you can't have it both ways.
You're talking about his left hand. Now you want to talk about the whole basketball game. So you just running in circles.
Now I'm not you running in circles because I said
Clyde Drexler's a better player than Jaylen Brown. Even without a left hand, they both fucking suck with a left hand, Andre.
No, he isn't.
Yes, the fuck he is. He's a fucking Jaylen Brown will never see the Hall of Fame. Never. Clyde's first ballot. That's a bad motherfucker.
That's just a casual take right there. Jaylen Brown is going in the Hall of Fame.
No. Jaylen Brown ain't going to touch the Hall of Fame at all.
He is going in the Hall of Fame. Come on.
No, he's not. And if he does, it's because y'all changed the fucking criteria. And this dude right now, look him up right now, this cat here, there's plenty of those back in the fucking day.
We ain't changing no criteria. The same criteria got Michael Cooper in the Hall of Fame. It got Lenny Wilkins in the Hall of Fame. Lenny Wilkins never made no All-NBA team, but he's in the Hall of Fame. So that same criteria, Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, but Lenny Wilkins made it as a coach.
As a player.
He made it as a player? Oh, damn.
Yeah, as a player.
Lenny Wilkins was a great player.
You don't make top 75 as a coach. So he definitely was a player.
Yeah, he was a great player. That dude is great. Lenny Wilkins was a great player.
No, I don't think
he was a great player. Jaylen Brown is not great.
No,
Jaylen Brown is just good.
Nah.
Lenny Wilkins is great. If Lenny Wilkins is
a bad man. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't disagree.
Jaylen Brown was just about cut from the fucking Boston Celtics.
I can name
He
10
was just
guards
about
in his
cut.
era
They
better than
almost
him.
didn't want this fucking dude. They was trading him. He was so fucking sorry. He just now, this year right here, saved his fucking career. They was getting ready to get rid of this motherfucker. The fuck?
Bro, they signed him. They signed him to the biggest contract at the time. What do you mean?
Yeah, and they got lucky that he actually got to this level because it was the worst fucking contract in NBA history for a guy who led the fucking playoffs in turnovers. We always laughing about that on the pull-up, including you. You know better than that. That's fucking stupid to bring that up.
I wasn't laughing at him. I just said he had a terrible series. That's all I said.
He had a terrible playoffs, bro. The time fucking series dude was fucking sucking. He was getting laughed at every round.
Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, the dude was terrible. He was a laughing stock. They even had fucking conversations warming up about maybe switching his fucking role and possibly bringing him off the bench just to get his confidence back.
Nah, that's not true. That's true, Cap.
That is true.
Because after that
I'm not saying Tatum said that. I'm saying there was rumor, like the whole world was watching him suck so bad that this was becoming a topic.
Yeah, but nobody said he got to come off the bench. That's you capping right there.
No, they did say that. The dude said you might have to put him on the bench to get him his fucking confidence back. No, that's what they were saying. Now it never got to that level. I'm not saying that. But the point is, he was so fucking sorry that when motherfuckers was having this conversation. You don't have a conversation about Charles Barkley like that.
Bro, you
don't have a conversation about Karl Malone like that. You talking about fucking defense? You talking about fucking defense? Karl Malone was fucking locking up Tim Duncan every time he saw the fucking dude. He was giving Tim Duncan the fucking work defensively. And you're talking about, speaking of all-time power forwards, Karl Malone was giving that motherfucker business. Tim Duncan he couldn't handle Karl Malone.
What was Charles Barkley doing defensively?
Charles Barkley wasn't a great defender.
Casket right there.
That don't mean nothing. He's still a better player than your fucking players.
He's still a better player. I done found the beat. That's crazy.
He's still a better player than what the fuck you got. He's still better than Taylor Brown. The fuck. He's still better than Derek White. He's still better than Bam.
Those guys, you know the difference. Those guys are
Charles Barkley's way better than them motherfuckers.
Those guys are champions. Those guys are NBA champions, and Charles Barkley never won a championship. Because you use championships to put Larry Bird and Magic Johnson over Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant. Well, guess what? These guys have championships, so they're better.
That's not what I used on them. That's not what I used on them.
Hey, Casual, did he not just say that?
Y'all tried to make fun of Larry Bird for one fucking playoff run or one playoff this and that. And I said, okay, if you want to do that, then
you said KD. You said something about KD. That's why Casual brought up Larry Bird's playoffs. That's why you brought that up, because you started it. We didn't look down on Larry, because I know Larry
Bird is a better player. He is a better player. That's all I fucking said. And he said, and then he chose to cherry pick something, and I cherry picked back. Larry Bird is the better player. He's going to always be ranked ahead of him at all times.
And I don't disagree that he's the better player. I think he is the better player. But
that's all I fucking said, bro.
But you point championships. See, you be throwing rocks and trying to hide your hand. That should be crazy.
No. Y'all be running in fucking circles, ducking like y'all be ducking.
You know I'm not just.
Thomas, you be ducking because you brought up championships as a reason why Larry was better than KD and why Magic was better than Curry. That's what you did.
I didn't bring that up until he roasted Larry. I said Larry's a better player.
You roasted Kevin Durant before.
So you're saying that I brought up Larry
because Kevin Durant don't deserve to be in the conversation. The fuck? And speaking of bench, he's on the bench. And speaking of Tatum, he got benched. Speaking of Embiid, he got benched. Y'all got motherfuckers that suck so bad they get benched.
And guess what? The starters
hold on. KD wasn't playing bad. KD got to the free throw line. Yeah, right. No. Even if KD got to the free throw line,
KD needs to be fucking starting.
I mean, not 5 times.
KD needs to be starting. But the point is,
okay, y'all got why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Because he got benched. The fuck? That's why. Facts are facts.
He didn't get benched. He didn't get benched.
He got benched. Jason Tatum started today.
He's coming off the bench. He's coming off the bench because he's coming back from injury.
No, he's not. He's coming off the bench because motherfucker wanted to play Jason Tatum because motherfuckers was crying. That's why.
That might play a role in it too. I won't disagree with that.
Of course, that plays the fucking role.
Even still,
that's the only
KD's
fucking role. It ain't got nothing to do with the fucking injury.
Even still, KD's coming off of the bench, giving you rim pressure, which they desperately needed because the starting lineup wasn't giving you that much outside of LeBron, and he was also giving you floor. He was also giving you regular floor spacing.
That's got nothing to do with it. That's got nothing to do with the conversation.
Because follow me for a second. The reason why I'm saying this is because KD's doing this off the bench. You do realize the starting lineup was a plus. I think it's. Let me check one more time to be sure. I think it's a +5. They were +5 when they were on the floor, and then the bench
+5. Brother, they should be a +8. The fuck? We got 15.
Not the starting lineup that they came out with tonight. The starting lineup.
Any of them. I could take 9 players off that team and go ahead and whoop somebody's ass. We got 15 All-Stars on the fucking team, bro.
Well, then if you let me finish, the bench came in and they was +16.
The bench played more.
Yeah, again, the whole fucking team ought to be +50. No, I'm not. That's not nothing to brag about. The fuck. I wouldn't even bring that up. That's some damn new era shit. Oh, let's talk about this. When this looks bad, let's talk about that.
If the whole unit is being efficient on the offensive end, granted the bench is more efficient than the starting lineup, and defensively they're locking up to the point where the opposing team's field goal percentage is Team USA's 3-point percentage. What do you expect them to do? They're doing everything that they're supposed to do. It doesn't matter.
They should be winning by 40. What they should be doing? They should be winning by 40. That's what they should be doing. But I'm not here to pick on that.
The talent level is better than the 90s.
No, bro. We tried out 15 All-Stars. I don't give a fuck if you put Joker and Giannis on the same team. We still should win by 30 or 40. They ain't but 2 fucking people, bro. The fuck?
That's not how it works.
Y'all acting like motherfuckers. Do y'all realize the people? That is how it works. Them bitches suck.
Just because you don't know their name doesn't mean that they're not good.
Them bitches suck. The South Sudan team don't got no fucking body. Just gonna come over here and start on a fucking NBA team. And if they do, it don't matter. And if they do, it don't matter. We got 15 motherfucking All-Stars.
They have a forward that's not in the NBA that just finished giving us 24.
They suck. Period. They fucking suck, bro. You realize we got 15 All-Stars.
They have a guard. Yeah. They have a guard. They have a starting guard.
They got nobody.
They have a starting guard who's at Duke right now. Shout out to him. He's a freshman. 18-7.
That's even worse. He fucking sucks.
That's disappointing.
The fact that
that's what you take away from that.
We're trying to put an 18-year-old on a fucking pedestal. The fuck are we doing? And even if I gave you one player, we got motherfucking 15 All-Stars. We don't have 15 players. That bitch you named, he's nobody. He's not but a fucking player.
And they beat him by 17 for that.
Weak.
They beat him by 17 for that.
Weak as hell. But hey, I got to go to bed, Andre. I got to get up early. Casual. I'll catch you on the next episode, brother.
Yeah, Thomas. Great work. Yeah, appreciate it.
I'll catch you next time.
All right, bro. All right, Thomas.
All right, fellas.
Yeah, Casual, you saw what I said in the private chat, right?
Nah. What you say?
Nah, I was just saying, like.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I got to close out, y'all. Yeah, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Yeah, Thomas, Casual, I got heated, but you know.
What is it now?
Yeah, but yeah, appreciate y'all, man. Hopefully, I do another live in the very near future. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Have a
you've been consistent this week. You've been on it.